Hello everybody, happy Thursday, glad you're able to find it here okay. This is CIS 2454, hopefully you're here in the right place, for web systems development, PHP and Java. Hey Sticks, funny seeing you around here again. XD2K, Mark, yeah, you're here, nice to see you. KZ, XKZ, alright. How you folks doing? Yeah, that's super cool. Are you done after this semester then, Sticks, or you still got a little bit left? I can never remember. But I miss just chatting in the halls or between classes and stuff. It's hard to get to know you folks over Twitch, but I don't miss it enough to do regular Zoom classes on Zoom. 2 semesters, okay, not too bad though, not too bad. So maybe we can set up some sort of Zoom things, or you could actually drop by my office hours and chat with me sometime, because that's cool. All right, anyway, this is CIS 2454, Web System Development, PHP and Java. We do both for reasons. So I am Eric, that's me right there, right? Eric Charneski, nice to meet you. Hopefully you had a chance to check out my profile here in D2L. And I'm assuming because this course has a prereq, you've done some D2L stuff before. I don't need to go over how D2L works for you folks. But I'll take a quick look at my profile here for you. Why is my internet so slow? It's going to be fun today. That's me. It's my lovely picture there. There's the only one Eric Charneski that I know of in the world, so I'm pretty easy to Google. Here's my LinkedIn profile if you haven't found it yet. I am definitely a proud nerd. I love tech, games of all kinds, learning. Currently actually on hiatus in my doctoral program due to some family health issues and this quarantine COVID nonsense that has been awful. Just absolutely awful. So I'm looking forward to turning the corner. Here we hit our 55% vaccination rate in Michigan. I'm super excited to keep seeing that number go up. And the word on the street is, assuming the CDC recommendation allows for 3-foot distancing for folks, that will be back to mostly in person come fall. Again, that's just the word on the street. Nothing official yet. I think they're waiting another month to see what the recommendations shake out to be and how things go with vaccinations and variants. And oh, what a mess. What a mess. So anyway, I have been researching federated machine learning applications in mobility. It's actually really interesting. I'd be happy to tell you about it sometime if you're bored. Hey, Noob, thanks for following. Good to see you along here. I finally added some more alerts here, so I think I can make all this stuff work. I am definitely not a pro streamer. I have been watching stuff on Twitch for many years, actually, all the way back to Day 9 TV and him streaming StarCraft 2 casting, essentially, and all of his nonsense. So it's been a lot of fun watching that. Got away from it for a little while and then came back a couple years ago. I've had a lot of fun watching some streamers, so I even have some merch. They don't give me an affiliate link or anything yet, but I'll rep for them anyway. This is the OG chess streamers, the Chess Bras. They're awesome. So it turns out Stream Elements was really easy, D2K. I never know if the X you're just supposed to ignore in the middle or if I'm supposed to say it. So anyway, I have 6 children. They are learning here at home. It is insane, and last semester went horribly. We made it, though, through the end, and, you know, we got there, so that's okay. I am training for my 8th marathon. I've been trying to do 1 a year, this Freak International. I missed last year. It was virtual anyway, so it would have been really boring to run by myself. It's actually really boring to run 26.2 miles anyway, but at least doing it at the event has a little bit of hype and stuff, so that's fun. And I have a mostly weekly D&D campaign with 3 of my middle-aged children and some friends of mine. One who helps DM for me, another one to help just kind of herd the cats as we play. And then this is just one shot of a stash of games. That's the thing right behind me over there, underneath this guy. This guy, there, is all my games. Okay. Yeah, it's cool to have that in your name. Very cool. This is my cell phone number. I am a new full-time faculty member as of the fall semester. It's a wonderful time to start a job in the pandemic. So apparently I have an office with the phone number, but I've never been, and I don't even have a key to it or know how to get there. I don't know which one is mine. So use my cell phone, please. Call or text anytime between, not 8 a.m. That is incorrect. That was a bad copy-paste. Last semester, I was up early enough, but this is, we're heading into summer here, so please don't call me before 10 in the morning. I mean, if you do, I'll just ignore you anyway. But yeah, let's put that back to 10 a.m. because that's a little bit more sane for summer. A little bit more sane. I keep some really weird hours, so I'm usually up way past midnight anyway. But my wife gets upset if my phone rings and makes too much noise past midnight. Let's try to keep it between 10 and midnight. If you want to call or text anytime. If I don't answer because I'm busy, just let me know what time is a good time to call back. You can also email. You can find me on Discord. All of that comes to my phone anyway, right? My emails and my Discord messages, DMs, and really anything in our Discord server pops up here as well, because I try and keep an eye on that, see if I can answer any questions for you folks. And that's me. Feel free to check out my LinkedIn profile another time. I also have a link here, just in case you couldn't find it in the syllabus, for our textbook information. We're going to use 2 books, right? One for PHP and one for JSP Java. So they're both this 3rd edition book from Murrock. They're actually relatively reasonably priced as it goes for textbooks. That's one of the reasons we like Murrock books. They seem to do a decent job not gouging you too much. So we'll be working through those books. We're going to start with PHP, and then we'll move in, no, PHP with this one, and then we'll move into JSP. Yep, you got it. You know, actually, I had at one point a book command. I don't know if it is current or not. Look at that. Oh, it doesn't have the ISBN though. I guess I should add that. Oh, and I guess I need to update that. I'm not teaching 2001 this semester, so that one's old. I can go update that, I guess, real quick. That's my night bot. We'll take that one out. Why not? We can fix that. So PHP book we'll do first. Don't need the 2001 book. Then I can drop PHP and JSP. We'll drop that one in for you folks. Books, I guess. JSP. Why not? Let's see how well that works. I need to add that other book, though. Shoot. It's all right. I'll to do that later. All right, if you want to give that a shot, Exclam book ought to do it for you. All right, it's too hot already. I've got my windows open. It's getting too hot for the hat. Yeah, find it from the bookstore, anywhere online. It's perfectly fine. Rent it, own it, buy it. Anything is fine. You should be okay. Okay? So I have been streaming since before the pandemic. I actually started doing this for a night class I taught over at U of M Dearborn. I would teach a C# night class in the winter. And I drink a lot of coffee all the time. Although my mug is empty right now, I'm a little sad. Oh, there might be a little bit left. Just a drop. That's my awesome mug. I got this one for my birthday. And so I would talk a little fast, and it's really weird over there. When you teach a class, it's in a lecture hall, not a lab, so no one had computers unless they brought a laptop. And someone said it'd be really nice if they could record it. So I said, oh, you know, I've been a fan of Twitch. I bet I could figure this out. I downloaded OBS, got an account, or turned my account on Twitch on, got my stream key, and turned it on. I didn't actually stream with my webcam for the first semester. Then I figured out how to add that. It wasn't too hard at all. And then actually just the end of last semester, someone popped in the stream randomly. Was like, oh, hey, you don't have an overlay. Do you want one? I was like, oh, sure. Hey, Weber. Thanks for following. So it's been a little bit in development, and we're working on it here. Twitch eventually will send me a check, thanks to all these fine folks who sub and cheer and watch ads. Please don't think I'm double dipping. All of that money is going to get donated over to the Student Scholarship Fund at the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Engineering and Computer Science. That's a mouthful. I'm trying to see how fast I can talk and say that. So I'd be happy to show you receipts anytime you want to know. Mark, my hero, thank you so much for donating your Prime sub to the Scholarship Fund at the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Engineering and Computer Science. That was faster than last time, right? We're getting there. And I turned down the number of emotes on those emote-splosions, so hopefully it doesn't get too laggy or anything. Let me know. I've had pretty good luck. Comcast had to come out to my house, fix a broken or rusted cable, so I think my internet's been pretty stable. It's been pretty good. On Tuesday, like at 8 p.m., I hit a big lag spike and it sucked. We had to end class, so we'll see how well it goes. But you know, if we were on Zoom, it would just go wah, wah, wah. Anyway, So not too big of a loss. And then this way I don't have to pester people about, sitting around with blank screens on Zoom and cams not on or anything like that. So there is one downside, though, is that you can't voice chat at me if you have questions. So if you're interested, pop into the Discord server. I have a lecture voice chat voice channel if you're interested in. And then I can just pop that up, and then your voice will just come through my computer, and I can hear you. I've offered that before, and no one has actually taken me up on it. But if you'd like, I'd be happy to hop in there. There will be like a 2 or 3 second delay, depending on your stream and how delayed it is. So it might be ever so slightly awkward, but we'll make it work, I'm sure. So here's our syllabus. I'm not going to read it to you, but I do definitely want to go over the highlights. Again, my contact information. I don't have office hours yet. I've got a little when to meet link. Let's see if I can find that. When to meet, probably this one. For my office hours, please take a minute and fill this one out and pick the times that work for you best. I've got 5.5 hours to fill this summer of standing office hours where you can book appointments with me, you can contact me and expect me to be at my desk and reply rather quickly unless I'm meeting with somebody. You can just pop in and talk general tech chat, anything that's interesting. Again, as if I were sitting on campus in my office and you could just pop your head in and say, hey Eric, what's up? That's what I've got for you. So happy to help with things. Some people did not get the memo that between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. I am not around. I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday classes from 6 to 10, and I'd like to eat dinner beforehand. So I said, how about 9 to 4, or I'm sorry, 9 to 5, and then after class, I'm happy to meet if that works for people. So between 10 and midnight as well, you can say that might be a possible time to meet as well. And I'll try and be flexible, pick some hours that work for most people, and see what we can do for office hours. If those standing office hours don't work, we can always schedule appointments off time. When you contact me, suggest a couple times, and I'll pick the one that works best for my schedule if possible, and I'll see what I can do. I know some people can only get stuff done on the weekends. Typically during the day on the weekends, I'm busy doing family stuff, as you might imagine, with all the kids. But after the kids go to bed around 9 p.m. or so, I'm happy to meet up with folks Saturday or Sunday if we need to, because I know that might be your only chance to get stuff done. So I don't want to leave you roadblocked until Monday. I know that's no fun working on projects. So fill it out when you get a minute, and then I'll fill in my office hours later. Join the Discord server if you'd like. It's typically where I'll be. Discord has great voice chat features. It can even do screen sharing, but if you're more familiar or comfortable with Zoom, I can also fire up my Zoom call. Not a big deal there. It works too. But I'll be hanging out in Discord. And then the other cool thing about Discord is we have a channel for each class. So if you have a class-specific question, drop it in the Discord, and then everyone else in the class will get the benefit of seeing your question and seeing my answer, just as if we were in real life. This is real life. Just as if we were in person and you asked a question in class, everyone would hear your question and my answer. So it's hoping to simulate a little bit of that and that conversation. There's also a channel for memes. Please drop your hot memes, fresh memes there. Just safe for work ones, please. Always happy to share those. I love jokes and memes and things. They're a lot of fun. Exclam Discord there, Inferno. We're here in the syllabus. Sorry, my wife is looking for something. I think it's in our basement. I'll have to take a look later if she can't find it. All right. No, actually, I don't know who you folks are. And that's sort of the fun, this being anonymous on Twitch and on Discord. As long as you are on topic, you're welcome to participate. If you're asking me random questions and I'm getting too far off track, I'll probably just start ignoring you. But I find that if people are following along the content and have questions, it's the exact same questions my students would have. So it just adds to the community here, which is cool. So you're welcome to tag along. So the classroom location, because I'm not a fan of Zoom and staring at blank screens and pestering people to invade your privacy and see what's in your bedroom or your office or your bathroom or your basement, wherever. I mean, anywhere you can hide to find some quiet space. I don't care. You do whatever you need to do. So if you'd like to be here live, that's twitch.tv/EricChernesky. Thursdays, this is the Thursday class. Class is supposed to go till 9:45 p.m. I will not ever be on that late streaming. You're just going to zone out after too long. And this class is typically taught in a computer lab, or always taught in a computer lab when we meet in person, where we spend probably about 2 hours or so talking about content, and then you go practice it. With PHP and JSP, Java, Web Tech, it's a ton of practicing. So my plan is to go till about 8 p.m. each night of the week, and then turn over the rest of the evening to you folks. And if you want to continue on because you're used to working for 4 hours straight or 3 hours and 45 minutes straight, just keep on going. That's fantastic. If you want to take a break and work on those exercises throughout the week, that's fantastic too. Whatever's going to work best for you. Do I have any information on entry-level positions to get experience while in school? Help desks tend to be a good place for that. If you've got a little bit of IT knowledge. I actually had just gotten an email from somebody, but I've never heard of them before, and there's some recruiting firm, but apparently there's a help desk job in Sterling Heights. So if you're out at the Auburn Hills campus that way, that might be in your neck of the woods, and they were offering 18 bucks an hour. I did send it over to my career services folks just to make sure they're not like a scam company. I don't want to send crap to you folks, so hopefully they can do the vetting process and look them up. I mean, they were a real company on LinkedIn, apparently, but just for them to look. So if you can't make it live, if that's not your thing, or if you want to pause and play back and whatever, I'll archive all of these things out on all the lectures out on YouTube. So here's my YouTube channel. Thanks to last semester, I finally cracked 100 subscribers, so I could get a YouTube link with my name in it instead of the gibberish link. So exclaim YouTube there in the Twitch chat should give you the link as well. I think I fixed that one up. So you can watch them, or do both, right? Watch them live, ask questions live, and then come back to the recording after the fact. No big deal. Yeah, it works. Very cool. Yeah, so the plan's about 6 to 8 or so. I don't want to keep talking much after that because you folks are just going to zone out. It's a ton of content, and you need to go practice. The biggest thing you can do, the best thing you can do is go practice the things we're doing. So I'm going to give you one set of examples. The textbook will give you another set of examples. The internet will give you a bazillion others. So ideally what's happening is you're listening to me explain it and show you how it works. You're reading the textbook. You're seeing how the author of the text, Mr. Murrock, does it. I think his name is Joel, I want to say. Joel does it. And then you're trying it yourself. I have people occasionally try and follow along as I go. And let me just be honest, that doesn't work for most people. I type rather fast, and I've done this stuff before, so I'm pretty quick at it. So if you're following along, it's a little harder to pay attention. That's another great reason I have these recordings. And I'm just going to export them all out to YouTube. You can get the VODs right on Twitch as well, but they only last for about 45 days. And one time I had a student mad at me when they were taking the final exam that they couldn't access the recording from week 2 of the class. And I was a little sad that they wanted to go back and see something from week 2, but that's okay, sure. So our course catalog description, you should have read this already. There shouldn't be nothing new here. Prerequisites, 1500 or 2151, some Java programming. Ideally both, but you know, at least one, which is good to go. For general education, you do some critical thinking. You understand how to, excuse me, wow. This ice stuff is just barely sparkly, but it's enough. Evaluate levels, kinds of information, recognize and understand implications of relationship between ideas, use information to develop conclusions, solutions. This is terrible. I shouldn't read to you. This is critical thinking. Common course outcomes, the things that we will focus on in this class that we actually assess every time we run this class and see how well everybody does on it. You should be able to describe web service requests, how they're processed, the overall architecture of web applications, and the roles played by supporting services such as operating systems, web servers, browsers, and naming services. Whew. That's a lot. We'll describe the model view controller, this MVC application design, specific implementations for Java and PHP. We'll make PHP and Java web applications that can process web form data, including list processing and table displays. We'll describe the role of Java servlets and server pages within the MVC design model. That sounds a whole lot like that one, but sure. We'll create Java web application code that utilizes expression language and common items from the JSP standard tag library. This expression language is fantastic. It's a great shortcut. They make life so much easier for us. All good developers are lazy in that we don't want to do more work than we need to do. No, this is a different. I have 4 different classes this semester. Lusket. Is that an L or an I? Iusket? Lusket? Can't tell. We'll make Java and PHP web application code that can manage session data, comma, cookies, and utilize a relational database for basic transactions. Read, update, insert, and delete. They're missing a comma there. It's not insert, delete. That is an L. Okay, cool. The relational database piece is really super cool because basically all web technology runs off of a database now. I can pretty confidently say that. There's almost no web tech that does not connect to a database somewhere anymore. Could you put the day of the week so we don't accidentally get mixed up? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're meaning, D2. We'll come back to that. That's okay. We will send messages that send email messages, or create web application code that sends email messages. I'm going to show you how. I'm not actually going to ask you to do it because doing it means you need to essentially create like a Gmail burner account, and occasionally they get upset with us for that. But we'll go through the steps of what you have to do, and then you just plug in a different username and password, and life is good. That's not too difficult. And then we'll talk about common web client-side technologies like HTML5, jQuery, JavaScript, how different types of requests such as AJAX are generated, describe basic implementation methods for web application authentication and security. That's a big old jumble of one as well. So we'll spend a little bit of time working on some AJAX requests. The web tech side of things, we have an entire class on HTML5 programming, and we have an entire class on JavaScript programming. jQuery, JavaScript. I think you get into jQuery. I've not actually taught the class or looked at the syllabus yet. I know Dr. Ball usually teaches that one. Oh yeah, the YouTube videos, I date all of... Well, do I date them? I don't. They have a published date in YouTube, but when I post them... so all the recordings I'll put here in D2L in a content section called Lecture Archive, and I'll date them there. So over here in content, I'm going to add a Lecture Archive section. Okay, JavaScript and jQuery, great. Yeah, jQuery is fantastic. Super handy. So I'll have a new section over here for Lecture Archive, and all the videos will be dated in here. So these will just be a bunch of links to YouTube. Noobs, thank you so much for donating your Prime subscription to the Student Scholarship Fund at the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Engineering and Computer Science, where I am a lecturer and a doctoral student. It's funny being both, actually. Good story. So my boss there is actually also my doctoral advisor. So he either really likes me or is going to be upset with me. But that's fine. So yeah, I'll have them all dated here in the lecture archive. Oh, for sure, noobs. Yeah. I know everybody's got different stuff going on. So I'm actually hoping there's a really cool thing I've been working with our Teaching and Learning Center and our faculty fellow for teaching excellence. I don't know, there's all sorts of fun names and terms and things get thrown around now that I'm a full-time faculty member I get to learn about. But there's a philosophy called high flex course design, where the course should be flexible to be synchronous in person, synchronous remotely, or asynchronous. And there's some work that goes into designing classes to do that, and that's essentially what I'm trying to do with this pandemic learning. We just don't have a physical classroom. But when we come back to classes, hopefully in the fall, again, got my fingers crossed, hopefully in the fall, I'd like to just keep streaming, so people who want to come in person can interact in person, people who want to be live but can't make it in person can interact live over Twitch, and people who want to do it asynchronously because the timing doesn't work for them, or they got stuck in traffic, or whatever, their work schedule changed, or they just want to do it at their own pace, they can do it asynchronously. So that's the goal. That's what I'd like to drive towards. Oh, pizza time. You want a dad joke, you got it. I've got all sorts of good ones here. I collect terrible dad jokes because they amuse me, and my 6 children never trust me when I start telling a story anymore because it always sounds like it's going to be a joke. So they've been doing some research lately around people who have trouble spelling, and I'm a terrible speller myself, so I find this kind of personally applicable. And it turns out a particular blood type. They surveyed everyone's blood type and found out who were the bad spellers and who were the good spellers. And there was a particular blood type that turns out you had bad spelling kind of was related to. They're not sure if it's a cause or just a correlation. At that point, further research is needed. But anybody with the type O blood definitely was not a very good speller. All right, so here's your textbooks again. Links, get them from the OCC Bookstore official or anywhere, your favorite online bookstore, wherever you find them. Just don't tell me where you get it. Keep that to yourselves, please, and we're good to go. So supplemental materials. Oh, you know what? I forgot I did not list Git in here. My bad. I forgot to update that. So Discord for office hours, web browser for the Twitch live streams. We're going to use the OpenJDK library because I'm not a fan of Oracle trying to license Java. It was never meant for that. I'm glad you liked that one, KB. I do miss seeing people in person when I tell terrible jokes and having them go, oh, and groan. So when we have our last meeting and we're synchronous in Zoom, I will be telling tons of dad jokes just to watch you guys groan. And that's because it amuses me. And we're going to use NetBeans as our IDE for working both with PHP and the JSP stuff. XAMPP is a fantastic tool here that gives you all sorts of tools right off the bat with a single installer. It gives you Apache, it gives you MySQL, it gives you PHP, and it gives you... oh goodness, what's the other P here? Apache, MySQL, Tomcat. Tomcat? There's no P in Tomcat. Okay, I don't remember why all the letters are there anymore, but we'll use that tool as well. In addition to that, we're also going to use GitHub. So let me go and update this because apparently I'm terrible at remembering to do these things. So let me find my school folder here. CC, this is the summer, 2454. So we're going to use GitHub for source control because your code does not belong in Desire to Learn. Desire to Learn is a learning management system. It is not a code repository or code collaboration tool. So we're going to use github.com account. Nope, come on. github.com account. There we go. And the GitHub desktop client from desktop.github.com. Come on, seriously? That needs the links too? There we go. All right, so I'll add those ones in there. Sorry about that, and we'll get that updated. Probably the capitalizing looks funny. I'll make that lowercase. Okay. Let's not need your real name. I'll just put it up here: GitHub, Discord, and Twitch. Okay, you make those accounts. I'll show you how to use it. Don't worry. Git is a source control tool designed for managing source code, sharing source code, and collaborating on source code. GitHub is a hosting provider of the Git source control tool. Git, just as a fun fact, was originally developed by Linus Torvald, the founder of Linux, or creator of Linux. I don't know if you call him founder or creator of Linux. When he was working on that, he wanted a better tool for managing his source code for Linux. So he came up with GitHub. The man's a genius. So Discord for office hours, a web browser, you found it. You can use the mobile app, but I don't recommend it at all. Trying to see what I'm doing on your phone or tablet is going to be awkward. You definitely need a bigger screen as I'm sharing code. Again, the OpenJDK, I'll be happy to help you download, extract, install this. It's pretty easy. NetBeans as well. Hopefully, if you've taken 1500 or 2151, you already have the OpenJDK and NetBeans, because that should be our standard. Still a little bit new here, but if I understand it right, that should be the standard. And then XAMPP again, this is a single installer for Apache, MySQL. It's actually not MySQL, but it's a flavor variety that it behaves exactly like MySQL with PHP and Tomcat. If you don't want to install all those tools, you are welcome to use the OCC Virtual Desktop. Take a peek at this link here. It'll show you how to install the Horizon VMware client. The only downside is it's a little slow. I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's okay. It works. You can install the GitHub desktop client on your virtual machine. You do not need admin permissions for that. And you should be good to go. Okay, so let me get this updated over here in D2L before I forget. Come on. Maybe. There it goes. All right, cool. So that's got the updated link there. Policies on assessment and procedures. Assessment policies and procedures. I read stuff backwards sometimes. I'm sorry. I take plagiarism and cheating very seriously. It is a mission of mine, actually, to expel as many cheaters as possible, because cheaters should not get degrees. It devalues the degree for all the people who worked hard and earned it. So if someone gets a degree from OCC, they go out in the workforce and they suck at what they're doing, then they're going to think we do a terrible job educating you at OCC when in fact they just cheated their way through it. So any student engaging in academic dishonesty will receive a failing grade for the course and be reported to the dean's office. There's no second chance, there's no 0 for the assignment, there's no anything. OCC is the school I work for, Mystical Mug. Oakland Community College. I believe there's a link there in my Twitch bio if you just scroll down a little bit. So if you're unsure if something qualifies as academic dishonesty, please ask. All you have to do is ask, right? I'm happy to talk to you about it. Okay, no big deal. Now, I've also had to add in here, because this is ridiculous, that people seem to think that it's okay to post my assignments on chegg.com, have someone else answer it, and then turn in that work, and saying, oh, I cited my source because I found an answer online, which is stupid. Okay? So, under no circumstances may chegg.com be used. Do not post things there. Do not cite answers posted there. Any use of chegg.com or similar websites, such as Course Hero, or there's another one or two that they always piss me off, will be considered academic misconduct. Yeah, I teach at OCC and U of M Dearborn Pro. Oh, very cool. Glad to have you along. Oh, thank you so much for the bits, Hector. That is so cool. Thank you for donating those bits to the Student Scholarship Fund at the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Engineering and Computer Science. I'm going to try and get that faster and faster and faster every time I have to say it, because that's just a mouthful of things to say. And it's actually not even as long as what Dr. Mick has to say when people raid his stream and he talks about how he's a mental health professional, but he does not give professional advice on stream. That guy's fantastic. Big shout out for Dr. Mick Live. Yeah, need more coffee. Definitely need some more coffee. I'm sad my mug ran out. Look at that. It is empty right there. Look at that. Oh, sad mug. I had the misfortune, the mistake of outreach, volunteering to do some outreach to the high schools in the area to tell them about the CIS programs at OCC. And it turns out, it's been several years since I've been to high school, that they start really freaking early in the morning. So I was up at 7 in the morning to meet with the first hour class to present and tell them about OCC and our amazing CIS programs and how they could save a boatload of money just taking a couple classes here and transferring them to another institution of higher learning if they have goals of continuing on for a bachelor's degree. Yeah, Dr. Mick, let me grab his Twitch, Dr. Mick Live. There we go. I don't actually need this whole channel. I can just do a little shout out for him. This guy is phenomenal. Licensed family and couples counselor, therapist. Got his PhD in human development, and he streams on Twitch and talks all things mental health because he's just phenomenal trying to destigmatize the conversation, which is awesome. Amazing community. Super cool. I love Twitch. And the Knowledge Fellowship in particular, exclaim TKF there in the chat. Actually, one of the things that got me inspired to do a better job with classes here on Twitch. A while ago, back in 2019, before the whole pandemic thing started, there was a guy named Josh Milko, Dr. Milko, out of University of North Florida, or somewhere in Florida, who taught chemistry. And he started having office hours online on Twitch to try and be more accessible to students who couldn't make it to campus. So he had been streaming office hours on Twitch before the pandemic started, and he and I both got profiled in an article done by the Chronicle of Higher Education. I know it's an amazing journal you've all heard of. No, I mean it's just for us academic folk. About how Twitch it can be used as an educational platform and not just for video games. So. I've been doing this for a little while. The Knowledge Fellowship is fantastic. It's not all college classes. It's just anybody who wants to share information. We've got crafting people. We've got a guy who works at a forge and just does blacksmithing on stream. What else is really cool? Someone does pottery on stream. There's people who do space things. They play Kerbal Space Program, other stuff. Yeah, BMP, Boring Math Professor. He's fantastic. All of his math classes. A lot of math teachers, actually, which is really cool. Professor Peter is one of my favorite calc teachers because he teaches calculus and uses Python for some labs, which is super cool. I love Python. It's a fantastic language. Yep. Firebase for serverless cloud computing. You know, I've not done much with it. I've heard about it. It's not anything I've touched recently. I know that's a big up-and-coming thing, but yeah, serverless for sure is super cool. I'm much more familiar with Azure and the .NET land for serverless cloud computing sort of things. Tons of opportunity there, which is fantastic, to be able to spin things up a lot faster. So unfortunately, this being like an intro to web system development, you've never done anything before, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. And again, there's nothing wrong with the old-fashioned way. Still tons of applications out there in the world that run PHP, JSP in a traditional setting. And even if we do move to some serverless setting, the actual PHP code itself will still work. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Python's great. Hopefully next summer I'll be running a Python class here out of OCC, and I also teach the 2 Python classes out at U of M Dearborn. If you check out my YouTube, I've got those out on YouTube sticks, if you're bored enough to watch 2 semesters worth of Python programming. Yeah, for sure. Man, I get really thirsty sitting here talking at my computer, so I'm going to drink a ton of fluids. I need a break in a little while to go get another one. So, back to the syllabus. We are almost all the way through it. So, policy on plagiarism and cheating. In your OCC handbook, it's the college policy that no student shall engage in behavior in which, in the judgment of the instructor of the class, that's me, it may be construed as academic dishonesty. This may include, but is not limited to, plagiarism. Plagiarism is presenting another's ideas, individual ideas, data, words, images, or other products without giving credit to the originator. If you find something online and you copy-paste it in and you don't cite your source, that is plagiarism. If you cite your source, you have credited the originator. It is not plagiarism. That's how that works, right? Just like when you're writing English papers. If it's not your idea, give credit to the originator. Okay? That's it. That's plagiarism. I get people copy-pasting crap all the time, and it really upsets me because I have to do a ton of paperwork to fill out, to send to my dean, to say what happened, this was the assignment, this is the thing I found, this is them compared side by side, here's a screenshot, here's an entire PDF I have to fill out, and then I have to fail people. And then I complain about it to my wife, and then she gets upset at me for being upset about it because it just don't cheat, please. Rewording and summarizing is plagiarism if you don't credit the originator. So it's not just direct quotes. Right? Direct quotes should be in quotes and cited. A reword or paraphrase or summarization should still be credited if it's not your original idea. Yep. So other forms of academic dishonesty, such as acquisition of tests or other academic materials or distribution of the same. This is posting my class assignments on Chegg.com. This is distributing the course material, academic material. I don't know why that was not clear before, and I've had to add do not use Chegg. Okay, but do not use Chegg. Do not post my stuff on Chegg, please. It irritates me. And Chegg is all, oh no, we don't want people to cheat. We'll work with you, but I have to get a signed letter from my dean every time I want something taken down. They don't believe me unless my dean says yes. Which just upsets me because it takes me to do more paperwork, makes my dean do more paperwork. I have to send it in and then wait, and it's really irritating. So last semester I had to fail 3 people for using Chegg and posting my assignments on Chegg and then turning them in. It's ridiculous. The semester before that, I think I had 7 people who failed for cheating. One time I failed 8 people on a final exam. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by a glossary, sorry. So don't do it. So if you aid and abet, as well as those who attempt. Bibliography, yes, a bibliography. Yeah, that's your works cited. I don't need a full bibliography. I just need a comment in your code with the link, with the URL of where you got it from, and we're cool. Yeah, people do stupid things. I mean, there's pressure. I get it. There's pressure to perform academically, but cheating your way through is not the answer. Right? Working harder is the answer. Asking questions is the answer. Yeah, I mean, 2 people can have the same idea without being aware of it, for sure. When it comes to writing code, it's generally pretty evident if you copy someone else's code, because it looks like someone else's code and not your code. Yeah, Stack Overflow? No, that's fine. So my job when I write assignments is to give you assignments that you can't go out and find a existing solution for. I try and do some basic Googling. I'm not perfect, okay? But if you find, oh, here I found something on Stack Overflow, this is how I reverse something, or this is how I do a lookup for a particular field, that's cool. Cite your source, you're fine. Just don't give me the entire assignment, right? Like, don't post your assignment on Stack Overflow and say, please someone do this for me. I had to fail someone years ago when I was an adjunct for posting their assignment on Stack Overflow when I was on trolling the boards. Not trolling, just scrolling through, trying to find stuff that I could answer for fun, I found one of my assignments. And I said, oh, huh. So, yeah, don't do that, right? But don't cheat. So don't distribute course material. Don't cheat, okay? The student code of conduct, this is copy-paste, so I'm sorry. Oh, I saw what they turned in. Mystical mug. All right, the grading policy. This is what most people seem to care about. So I like to do things by category weight, which I've been told is confusing, so I'm assuming it just means I didn't explain it well. What that means is all of your individual projects will make up 35% of your overall score. So the points for projects only matter in comparison to other projects. And how this typically works is earlier projects are worth less points because you build on these ideas. So the first project you do, we're not going to do a whole lot of interesting stuff because we're just learning PHP. The last project that you do a whole lot of things because we know all of PHP. Maybe not all. We know a lot more of PHP. So it'll be worth more points. Right, we'll have a quiz on each chapter that we cover, or each section of chapters that we cover. That makes up 10% of your grade. The quizzes are not time-bound. You'll have up until the due date to open and close it and start and finish and whatever you want to do. They are open book, open notes, open internet, just not open neighbor. Right? Don't ask a friend. You get no lifelines, no phone a friend. It's all your own work, but know where to go find your resources. The quizzes will come out of the text and the things that I say. So just a word of warning, these are your incentive to read the textbook. Okay? Because just because I didn't say it doesn't mean it won't be on the quiz. Anything in the text is fair game from the chapters that were covered, and anything that I say is fair game for quizzes. Okay? We'll have one exam. The midterm will be a time-bound exam. You'll have 4 hours from start to finish for the midterm, just to make sure it's a level playing field. Yes, Sticks, that is my favorite kind of question, which actually makes it harder for me to grade, but I think multiple choice questions are the dumbest thing in the world. And they're just awful, and no one should ever use multiple choice questions, because it's not a measure of anything. They're terrible. So all of them will be like short answer style or true false, where if it's false you have to correct the statement, which is essentially a short answer style question. So trying to make you do a little bit more thinking there. So the midterm exam will be time bound. I'll give you a practice exam beforehand, don't worry. And it doesn't even have to be taken between 6 and 10 p.m. I'll have probably a 24-hour block where I'll open it, and you can start and finish anytime within that 24-hour block with your 4-hour window. Just not everyone is an evening person. Some people, I don't know how, are morning people, and they'll perform better in the morning, or they've got more free time in the morning, whatever it happens to be. So that's what we'll do for the midterm. We'll talk about it more when we get closer, don't worry. And then we will have a final project instead of a final exam that is 40% of your overall grade in the class. The last month of class will be dedicated to working on this final project. Last semester, the final project was doing a little Twitter or Parler clone. I thought it'd be fun for students to see how hard would it be to write your own Parler app, or Twitter app. Not an app, just a website, sorry, not an app. App development's another course you can take. So that'll be 40% of your overall grade. We'll have lots of time to do it, and I would strongly encourage you folks to actually work in pairs on the final project. I typically require it, but given that we're in this pandemic learning mode that's fully remote and we're not in person and we're not sitting side by side people, I don't want to require it, but I will strongly encourage it for you to try and pair off with somebody that you can work with. Parler was the conservative version of Twitter that promoted completely free speech and would not censor anything and have any fact-checking whatsoever, because obviously people don't fall for Russian hoaxes and misinformation campaigns that screwed up the 2016 election. Clearly. Okay, why not? Ours actually did have the same flaw. We had, in our basic version, we didn't add any security around image protection. So like Parler, you uploaded images there, whether or not they were images for your posts or they were images giving you a verified U.S. citizen status with a picture of your driver's license that was publicly available to anyone on the internet who wanted to check the next ID number in the database and say, hey, give me image number 37 instead of 36 and see what they got. So it was not ideal, but again, we have a limited time frame. We're not doing things perfectly, and we're acknowledging that there are limitations to our methods at the moment just because we haven't done a whole lot of other stuff as well. Sean, I don't it's worth a bad people post. I won't say the bad people. I wouldn't agree fully on that, but okay, sure. Did it get totally canceled, Mystical Monk? I thought it came back. Maybe not. Maybe not. The grading scale for a particular letter grade, if that's your thing, targeting a particular grade or GPA. 911, maybe? I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. But it was made for a current topic that was kind of fun to write our clone for. So we'll do a different final project here for our course, or maybe we'll do the same thing. I'm not entirely sure yet, because that was kind of fun, and it hit a lot of our major topics that we needed to do. Like the previous final project was an airline reservation system, and that was just not as interesting, I felt like. I think making your own Twitter was much more fun. So we'll see. Yeah, PHP, not JavaScript, no. Java server pages and servlets. We'll talk a little bit about JavaScript, but we don't focus on teaching it at all. We'll use it when we start doing our AJAX requests, like the very last thing we do in class. Okay? The end mark, this is standard college policy. Essentially, if you don't turn in the first project or the first quiz after 3 weeks, if you haven't done anything, you'll get an end grade. I'll reach out to you first. But this is for financial aid reasons and all sorts of fun stuff here. The late policy. Not applicable. Late work is not accepted. It's not accepted without prior written approval. And written meaning email. Okay? I don't take things late, so when projects are due by 6 p.m. on a night, it means I'm going over the solution in class because we're going to build on that project to do the next thing. Yeah, testing memory is ridiculous. I make a lot of money as a software engineer, and no one has ever asked me to do something from memory. In fact, they strongly encourage me to go and use my resources and look stuff up and find best practices and see what's the right way to solve a problem, rather than can I do it without looking anything up. Yep. So I have a midterm in here, so I do have one exam to have that. Crow. Yeah, they tend to frown upon syllabuses that don't have any exams, although we're getting a little bit better at that in the academic world, because we're understanding that testing if someone can memorize something is ridiculous. So we're trying not to do that. Yeah, projects are much better. You'll have more time to work on them, and I'll give you a nice clear rubric, so you'll know if it's working, you'll get the points. Right? You can test it yourself. I'm actually going to try and have you fill out your own rubric as well, which is, I think, will be nicer as well. Like, you tell me what you got done and what you didn't get done. Kind of assess yourself. All right, some other student policies and sport information. Oh, FERPA, I won't tell anybody your business. I won't even tell you your business. Right? If you want to know something about your grade, I'll tell you to go look in Desire to Learn, because that's where it is. Okay, that's all it is. It's simple. And this is why you're welcome to use any handle you want. You don't have to use your real name here on Twitch, because this is public. I'm not even allowed to tell people you're in the class, because reasons. Why not? If you need certain accommodations, if being covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act, please contact the Access office. They will contact me, and then I would be happy to work with you if you would like to ask for accommodations. What some people don't realize is just because Access sends me paperwork does not mean you automatically get time and a half on tests. So most common, I get people who have ADHD, and they need a little extra time on the test because of issues with focusing. And that's perfectly fine. We're happy to accommodate that. That's a very reasonable request to make sure you can be academically successful despite disabilities. So just because Access says you get it doesn't mean I'm going to add it for you. You have to then have that conversation with me. Okay, so please talk to me as it gets closer to the midterm. For sure. Everything else is not time-bound, so I don't think we'll have any other issues with timing on things like that or needing quiet testing locations. And I've got all the recordings already, so notes takers, that sort of thing, is not usually an issue. The Academic Support Center is fantastic. We have an entire department dedicated to helping you succeed. They have no-cost tutoring. I won't say free. Free is the wrong word, because it is paid for by your tuition dollars and the taxes here in Oakland County. But the tutoring is of no cost added. You take a look here at this tutoring link. $10,000 degrees from universities on Coursera. I don't know. I haven't looked into them too much. I know there are some really good courses online, some really good online courses. I tend to think one of the things you get out of higher ed, if we're doing it right, is you get, it's not always a mentor type of relationship, but you get to know the faculty members who are experts in their field, and we talk more than just, here's the skill. Right? You can get more out of it. So that tends to be the case, I think, is what you get out of a proper higher education degree. And And if you continue on, get a 4-year bachelor's degree at a university, the profs you are working with will probably be researching in their field and, cutting edge stuff that is really cool that they're working on, and might even be opportunities to engage in some of that outside the traditional, this is the topic that you need to learn for the class. All right, so take a look at the Orchard Ridge online tutoring schedule. We have an awesome tutor here for CIS. Mr. Tim tutors all of our classes. The guy is phenomenal. He's got tons of industry experience. He actually has a master's in mathematics, so he tutors for math and physics as well. The guy's super nice, super smart, but you can book free of charge appointments with him Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5 through the Academic Support Center. Contact them to see how this all works, and it's all virtual, so it should work out really well for you folks. And if you have any trouble, do let me know, but for sure, take advantage of that. I think that's one of the coolest things we offer is no charge tutoring. Okay, let's see here. The desire to learn technical support, if you have D2L specific issues, that's like their website is not working, call them. If it's something about the content, call me. I want to say Zoom, but maybe the other thing said Google Meet, so I don't actually know, Soulstar. I know the supplemental instruction group study sessions he runs are on Zoom. He is my supplemental instructor for 1500 and 2151, which is super cool. So poor Tim sees all of my students. For 1500, 2151 data structures and PHP, JSP. The guy's phenomenal. He does not get paid enough, poor guy. But that's all done through the Academic Support Center. I have nothing to do with it, unfortunately. Our D2 accessibility information, check that out there. Required tech skills, you are here, you should be fine. Accessibility, Microsoft, great. The technology appropriate use regulations, D2L and the virtual machines. Don't do stupid things or you'll lose access to college resources. It's really hard to get a passing grade in the class if you're not allowed to use D2L because you've abused college resources. So just don't do that. You actually agree to it when you log into the virtual machine. Netiquette, public safety. I'm very informal. I don't really care. As long as you're not being a jerk and rude to other people and being offensive, I'm fine. Interrupt me anytime. Hop in chat. Hop in the voice chat if you want. That's all well and good, because if you have a question, I can guarantee someone else in the class has that exact same question. I've been doing this long enough that I have found that to be true 100% of the time. As long as it's a question on topic, I should say. The question of like, hey, when does the coffee shop close? That's probably actually pretty common too, but that sort of thing. Public safety, we're not in person, so they probably doesn't apply much, but if you're having any sort of net bullying issues, harassment issues, please feel free to get in touch with them. They are an actual police department, licensed, registered through the state, and they'll be happy to take care of that for you. We do take that very seriously, so don't be a jerk, right? Expectations of me. I'm hoping now that school is winding down, we're not quite done yet with the homebound learning with my 6 children, but that this will go better, and as the vaccination's rolling out, life will be a little bit more normal. My goal is to have everything graded within a week of the due date. That's not when you turn it in, that's a week of the due date. So if you turn it in early, it doesn't always mean that you're getting it back early. Oh, Soulstar, I'm sorry, are you on Discord? I just wasn't even looking. So yeah, someone's got to shout at me for the lecture. No one's in lecture voice chat right now. I'm happy to hop on later. Are you? I don't see you in the voice chat there. I had to mute myself here. How do I? There we go. All right, I'm in the lecture voice chat channel. If you want to pop in there, that's in my Discord server. You're welcome to chat at me there. Your voice should come through my speakers, no problem. I'll give that a look here in a minute if you want to try it. Yeah, let me know. We'll see how well that works. Oh, you're not on Discord voice chat yet. Okay, gotcha. So I'll be there if you want to pop on later. No problem. Yeah, so the goal is to have things back within a week. If I'm running behind, I'll let you know. I did a terrible job of this last semester, but we all survived, and that I was thankful for. So bear with me. I'll do my best here. Things are looking better for a more normal summer, so I'm hoping to be able to keep up with that. Yeah, I'm happy to do it. No one's ever taken me up on it, hopping on Discord for voice chat, but I'm happy to, because I know typing questions can be a little rough occasionally. So 1 week seems very fast. Oh, yeah, I don't know. And for email response, you will hear back from me within 24 hours or less almost all the time, because everything comes to my phone, and like all of you phone addicts, it's always with me in my pocket. Unless my son has it watching YouTube videos. No, I don't have any scripts for grading. I'm experimenting with the auto grader for some of the other projects, but it's a little more difficult to do with web-based projects. I haven't found a good way to auto grade those yet. So, if you have not heard from me within 24 hours, please ask again. It's likely I just lost your email, your message, your text, whatever, in the pile. So please pester me again, and I'll get back to you. I'm not going to get offended if you email me 3 times in a row. Usually I'm pretty quick at getting back to you. So, all right, and then the tentative course schedule. There is no break this summer, which sucks. So we are 15 weeks, start to finish, done. Course introduction and the PHP appendix, installing our tools, getting it up and running tonight, and the very first project. This will get you using your GitHub repository, putting some code in there, and getting you a Hello World project in PHP up and running on your Apache server that you've installed via XAMPP. Sounds like a lot, but you have to get it done the first week so that you can actually do the rest of the PHP stuff the rest of class. Okay? And then we just cruise on through the book. So chapters 1 and 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and we'll have a project every other week up until the final project, which is the last 5 weeks of class. So all of this is synchronous optional as we go, although I find most people like to be here synchronous just so they can ask questions live and not have to pause the video, type out an email, wait for me to respond, and then go back to the video, that sort of thing, which is definitely much more my learning style. I actually had to drop the class I was taking when we shifted to full remote because it was not working for me. So, that, everybody learns a little bit differently, and that's cool. So PHP, project 1, project 2, 2 more weeks, project 3, and then we finish up PHP week 7. We do the last bit of PHP. Ooh, Xdebug, yeah, I've done it on Windows. There's another step we have to do because if you're using the latest version of the software, which I recommend, it's Xdebug 3, so the settings are a little different. I know one of my students last semester was on Mac, and I think we got it working. It was pretty similar, but again, it's just changing a couple of config settings. And we switch over to JSP. So we'll do PHP first, and then we go a little faster through the JSP because some of these topics are the same. We don't cover databases again because we've already done databases here. If you've not taken the CIS 1200 class, the database introduction to databases class, I'll talk you through it. I'll give you the crash course on database technology, and then I am happy to help you write any SQL that you need that's a structured query language to interact with the database because I realize it's not a prereq. I don't know why it's not a prereq. I kind of inherited this class from the last full-time prof when they retired, and I got no explanation. So I'm looking into possibly changing that, but I've been told by Dr. Baugh, he's my department chair, who's awesome. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a class with him, that we tried not to add prereqs if we can help it. So if I can give you a crash course on databases and then help you with the SQL and avoid adding a prereq, that is the preferred method, I've been told. So sure, that's what I'll do. That's okay, or D2K. Sorry, ignore the X. So we'll switch over to JSP. So we'll finish up PHP, basic authentication, switch to JSP, move through JSP. We'll have our midterm week 10. It's a little late, but it's through like all of PHP and then the gist of JSP. The expression language, JSTL, JDBC, database tech, sessions and cookies is more the advanced stuff. So I'll be able to assess you on the midterm on the basics of JSP and then all things PHP when we get to the midterm. And that also happens to be the week that I will hopefully, fingers crossed here, be in Kentucky with the family at a Jellystone camp, assuming all things are open and we're all vaxxed up and all that good stuff. So the adults in the family I have to get appointments for my older kids. They just released the vaccine for kids 12 and up, so 2 of my kids can get it now, and just leaves a couple of the younger ones who haven't had it. And we'll see how it goes. We'll take a look, but I'm planning not to be here that week, which will be nice. So everyone gets a midterm week 10. Right, and then that final week, this is the only mandatory synchronous session you must attend via Zoom. You will present your final projects. And the goal here is you're just going to go through all the things that you had to do, show me that you did them, and I can score it like that. That takes away a lot of the delay, and then I can ask questions, and if you cheated, when I say, hey, how did you do that? And you say, oh, it's really obvious that you just copy-pasted someone's work. Okay, so it puts a little bit more onus on everybody to own their final project and put the work in and understand how it does it. Attribution, it's an academic thing to cite your source, to say that it was not my original idea, Mystical Bug. That's why we need to cite our source. Yep, and that's, you know, the software engineering community is fantastic. Just look at Stack Overflow. People don't get paid to answer questions. They do it because they want to advance the industry as a whole, which actually it's really cool. There's an entire ethical framework that you can ascribe to through IEEE or ACM that says you'll advance the software engineering profession. That's one way people do it. Yeah, and they can get more info from the source for sure. You know, see where you got it from. Definitely. We should always cite our sources if it's not our idea. And give credit to the originator. Yep, just keeps that good trail there. All right, holy cow, it's 7:05, or 5. I've been talking way too long here. Let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about installing all the tools, the PHP appendix, get everything up and running, your Project Zero, GitHub, all that good stuff, okay? So why don't we take 10? I need to go get some more fluids, take care of the fluids, and we'll be back in a little while. I'll put some more music back on. Let me crank this here. How's that volume-wise? Is that not too bad? It's all right. And then let me flip this over to our paused screen. All right. So I'll pop out here. And oh, what's this? Oh, nice. All right. Where do I get this here? Break time. There we go. And let's come back, say 7:15. And we'll go from there. Yeah, 7:15 p.m. We'll take 10 minutes. We'll come back. Who will win the boxing fight? I don't know what boxing fight you're talking about, Mystical. Sorry. I don't follow any of that. All right, I'll be back in a little bit, folks.
Place where you can run free, time does not exist. Take a chance when the road before us falls under our face. I can't hold on, I can't remain so strong. We have the same old bond, but everything is wrong. My love is gone, but I've been born. I can't make it on my
Mr. Clean.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever!
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
Lyrics inspired by State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
But my rates like that, they're great like that, drive safe like that, I save like that, straight up facts, great rates.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your roommate's vacuuming for the 5th time today. But you have the $5 Chalupa Cravings box from Taco Bell, so his vacuuming might as well be the soft hum of purring kittens. And your loud neighbors turn into a telenovela with the beefy 5-layer burrito and chips and nacho cheese sauce plus a medium drink.
Jorge, ven y bésame, mi amor.
With the $5 Chalupa Cravings box from Taco Bell, nothing can ruin your bliss. It's value beyond belief. At limited participating locations for a limited time only. Contact store for prices and items which vary. Drinks exclude freezes, tax extra.
Can I pop a beer in here? Your cousin from Boston. Sam Adams Boston Lager is my go-to beer. Not too heavy, not too light. Oh boy. Oh no. Is that on the computer? Sam Adams Boston Lager. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Drink responsibly.
Burn 'em, burn 'em. How much money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, I'ma murk 'em. And if they playing with this fire, I'ma burn 'em. Murder, it's a murder. Disrespect us, I'ma spark it, I'ma burn 'em. And I'll be searching, I'll be lurking, I'ma hurt 'em. And all these bridges that I'm building, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, burn 'em. How much money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em. Smoke it up. Burn 'em. Whop a nigga's bucket, I'ma serve 'em. Spinning on a block with a mop, I disturb 'em. I never killed a nigga, but I'm ready to spit a hollow right on a person. And the curse, I'm about to merge on a nigga's turf. I'ma let a nigga burn, burn, let him burn. And these pussies better learn when I pull up, I'ma burst. Make a nigga see stars, finna leave him on a curb. Burn 'em, burn 'em. All this money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em. Run him down till he out of town. And I got it on me, nigga, don't you fuck around. Moving with a stick, it's in the whip, not the shift. But I'll switch it to the beam when I'm standing on your ground. You should know to never come around my town. You're not welcome in the hood cause you a clown. I got shooters ready just to lay you down. And they not afraid to waste a couple rounds. Burn 'em, burn 'em. All this money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em.
I've been watching you with dark eyes every night. Counting up your sins, I keep a list and checking it twice. I know where you've been, I smell the sin, and you're looking nice. Who can your spine. Try not to choke, a funny joke when you say you're mine. Lost your control, think you're alone, I'm still in your mind.
Hey friends, I'm back. How you folks doing? Alright. Okay, just catching up on chat here. Oh, did I have my mic on the whole time, or did I just fix that? Oops. Let's see. Sean, traveling back in time in a little bit. Yeah, so Mystical, that's sort of the model, is that what you're paying for is typically that relationship with the instructor and getting assessed. And if we do the assessment process, you can actually get the piece of paper that says you learned the things. And that tends to be important, which is, you know, it's kind of how it works. So, yeah, I mean, you can learn lots of things online as well, but it's not necessarily the same as a university education. So we're definitely missing a little bit of the discussion interaction, but most of our CIS classes, there's not a whole lot of discussion. It's more content delivery. Where like the typical liberal arts degree is more discussion based. You know, let's look at some ideas, let's debate them, let's have some back and forth discussion here. I would love people to read the book before Kleenex, because then they'll understand what I'm doing and they can ask better questions. I have found I'm lucky if I can get people to read the textbook at all, even giving quizzes. So honestly, that's why I give quizzes every week. That's your incentive to read the textbook. They're open book quizzes. So if you've read the textbook, you should be able to get 100% on every single quiz. Really, I'm trying to give away free points for you doing the reading. Yeah, sorry, is the mic any better now, Pro? Yeah, so the textbook will be your main source. That's where your main examples will come from. I'm going to try and give you the highlights. Yeah, I forgot to switch to desktop audio instead of my mic when the sound was playing. I'm sorry, because it should have the desktop feed and not coming through the speakers into the mic. I think I screwed that up. Again, I'm a real pro streamer at this, so unfortunately that happens. And if it looks like I'm looking up a lot, I've got two monitors. I got my laptop down here, and I've got a second monitor up here. So I've got the OBS Studio up on the second monitor, so I can see chat and make sure everything looks okay on the screen. And then my laptop monitor is what I'm actually sharing. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do here, I picked this up in a class I took, actually. Yeah, Stick. So if you've registered, you should be able to add and drop classes the first week. Although someone was just telling me they couldn't add a class that's already started. So I'm not exactly sure. Enrollment Services can definitely take care of all of that. But you want to do another one? You are looking for a really fun summer, my friend. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I just sat through a meeting. Okay, to start at yesterday? Yeah, someone tried to enroll my class that started Tuesday, and they said it told them they couldn't do it. But, I don't know, Enrollment Services could fix it. Sorry, Sticks, it blocks all the links automatically in chat. If you, like, put a space between the dot and the com or whatever, it ought to work. It's bb.net. Oh, man. And it blocked that, yep. Okay, that's Mr. O'Connor, I believe, is teaching that one. He's really nice. He actually is not in the CIS department. He is in the Engineering, Manufacturing, and Industrial Technology department. But he is very familiar with VB, a little bit of C++, I believe, as well. So he's a real nice guy. Yeah, that one should be a lot of fun. VB is great. I taught that one time. Not the biggest fan of VB, but it's widely used, so it definitely has some uses. And apparently it transfers really well to Oakland University. So, yep. I found this really cool site here. OCC has this department called Institutional Effectiveness, and they do all sorts of studies and things on students and graduation rates and assessments and all sorts of fun stuff. But they have this really cool data dashboard, and it shows our top transfer, you know, like the enrollment by city is really neat, fall, headcounts, enrollment, campuses, all that good stuff. But the top 4-year transfer colleges, if you're interested in continuing on in a bachelor's degree, this is last academic year, 2019 to 2020. We don't have this year's data yet, obviously. How many students from OCC transferred to other universities in the state? So this is the top 10. So OU, almost 700 students. Holy cow. We feed a lot of students to OU. But 180, almost 200 to Michigan State, 130 to U of M, that's U of M Ann Arbor, 128 to Eastern, 80 to 79 to Walsh. I thought we'd get more to Walsh. That's actually where I went to school back when I thought I wanted to get into IT management before I realized how terrible I thought that was. Maybe it was just the organization. 69 to U of M Dearborn, which I'll give a plug for again. I loved U of M Dearborn. Great school there. Grand Valley, 65, Western Michigan, 59, Central Michigan, 58, and 50 to Baker. So we do a lot of transfer information out here, which is pretty cool. Sticks, you know, it depends. Depends where you want to work. The Apples and Googles and Teslas of the world have actually gotten a little wiser to it and say they're not going to require a bachelor's degree. They're going to say if you know how to do the work, they'll take you. Where other organizations, HR departments are bachelor's or you never get forwarded on. Hey, Blowfish, how you doing? Oh, Crow, are you making a dad joke? I love it. Dearborn is very dear to me. I got to remember that one. I'll use that one again myself. That's fantastic. That is super cool. Oh, man, my chair. I've got one of those floor mats. This is actually a playroom that I took over as an office. I had to kick my kids out and have an actual office at home here. And it had carpeted floor. So I got one of those like plastic mats that your office chair can roll on. And apparently I sit in the exact same place every time because there's these big grooves. There, my chair doesn't want to not be in the groove. So posture check. Thank you so much for checking out from my back there, Mark. I grab my handy little dandy backboard. This thing looks awful. Like, look at all those little pegs on it here. So it's got like a smooth spot where the spine goes. It actually feels really good though. Gotta remember to do that. Oh, little stretch. All right. Thank you, Mark. So, where were we here? Looking at, oh yeah, the PHP appendix for the book. Let me grab, put it. Give me 1 second. Nope, never mind. I'm dumb. I have an ebook. Not the physical book. I got the ebook. I should remember that, but apparently I did not. So the appendix is all about installing the software. So let's take a look here at some of these links in the syllabus, and we'll get these things up and running. So the OpenJDK, if you've not done this before, for 1500 or 2151, gives you a little zip that you can download. So you go to jdk.java.net, version 16, we download it. We want the Windows version if you're on Windows, the Mac version if you're on Mac. Hopefully that's pretty self-explanatory. Just gives you a zip file, and then we will extract that zip file. I'm partial to this folder called OpenDev, because that's what we have on our virtual machine. So on my C drive, I made a folder called OpenDev, OP, that's right. O becomes before P, so OpenDev, and you will extract the contents of that folder into OpenDev here. Oh, don't leave my Gradle there. Get rid of that. And that's also where I installed NetBeans as well. So you take a peek at this download file. So this is the JDK. You right-click and extract all. And you tell it, hey, I want it to go to that OpenDev folder. So go browse, go find this PC, go find OpenDev, and say, okay, I already have that folder there, so I'm not going to do it. And it gives you that JDK. That's the Java Development Kit. That's all of the Java binaries you need to develop code and run in Java. It's not the Java runtime environment, it's the development kit. Hopefully that distinction was clear from your earlier classes. Okay, once we've done that one, then we'll come and get NetBeans. Again, the latest version is perfectly fine for NetBeans. 12.3 should be what we're using. I made the mistake of reinstalling it on Monday and it screwed everything up. but my testing worked well this week, so things were fine. So I installed NetBeans. Download that, run the installer. If you're having trouble with it, I can help you. Sometimes you need to tell the installer where Java is. And I had a few people we had to use the binaries version. This is not with an installer. It was just a zipped up directory that has the executable inside of it. I recommend the installer. If we're having trouble with it, I'll help you through it. But give that one a shot. Again, Mac has its own version as well. You should be good to go. IntelliJ, yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah, Sticks. Monday was crap. I'm not sure if IntelliJ does PHP and JSP, but it probably does. I've never actually used it for that. So if it worked for you, great. That's really cool. We shouldn't have any problems. Okay, once we've got that installed, we'll be good to go there. Then you want to go to github.com and create a GitHub username and download the GitHub desktop client. That's desktop.github.com. Yeah, it's probably a package. I mean, I can't imagine they wouldn't have it. So you download the GitHub client. So GitHub, again, is a hosting provider for the Git source control tool. What that means is it's a glorified file watcher. So I'm actually going to go through and make a new repository for myself, and I'll show you kind of how this works. Repositories, and then new, I think, makes a new one. Oh, shoot. Nope. Oh, it's a different path. Okay, new repository, sure. Oh, it's github.com/new. So, great. I'm going to have CIS 2454, summer 21, 2021. So all of the code examples I do in class, all of the PHP projects, all the JSP projects, I will put here in this public repository for you to go get. Code does not belong in Desire to Learn. That is a pet peeve of mine because it's awful. Like, we shouldn't be putting things in D2L that don't belong there. And code belongs in a source control tool, like GitHub. Okay? So mine's a public repository. Yours will be private. Private means no one else will have access to it except for me, which is right. So you should have access. I should have access. No one else can go find it. No one will copy off you. I'm going to add a README file. They're fantastic. I'm just going to put some little notes there. I'm going to add a git ignore file. The git ignore file tells Git not to add certain types of files. It should ignore all the private files, and it should ignore anything that you can build. Right? So when it comes to Java, that's all of your class files. You can generate Java class files by compiling. Okay, so we don't need those. So I'm going to put in Java here. I don't think there's a PHP, right? Is it just Java? Yeah, I'm going to put in Java here. That ought to work. And then I'm going to put a license on mine. You don't have to do that on yours. Don't worry about it. But I like the MIT license for fun. I'll make a repository. Once you have your repository website, I'll show you how to get there in a little bit. Don't worry. You've got lots of time tonight. I'm going to click on this big green code button here and say Open with GitHub Desktop. I'll say, hey, do you want to open GitHub Desktop? Yes, please open GitHub Desktop. The GitHub Desktop will say, hey, do you want to clone this repository? Yes, I want to clone this repository. Cloning a repository means you are making a copy of that directory on your computer. So the default location is your documents GitHub folder. If you want to move it, move it. I don't care. It can go anywhere you want. Just know where you put it. I'm going to hit clone. Now the GitHub desktop client has two amazing shortcuts that are going to help you a lot. This repository dropdown is your friend. You have a view on GitHub, and you have a show in Explorer. Show in Explorer will open up your file explorer right to that folder. So here's my C drive, users, Eric C, documents, GitHub, CIS 2454, summer 2021. That's a lot. You'll see there's already some stuff in it. There's a .git folder. Don't touch it. That's where all the magic happens. There's a .git ignore. Remember we said we want to ignore certain files. Great. There's a license file and a README file. Those are all the things we asked for. Okay, what happens if I put something in here? Git is a glorified file watcher. So Git watches this directory, this folder, for files, and it will tell me changes to those files. So I'll say line 1, line 2, line 3. What's pirates? Not private, pirates. Favorite letter. And you can answer that one there in chat. What's a pirate's favorite letter? And the GitHub desktop client will say, hey, I found a new file. It'll show up as green. A new thing is green, a yellow thing is modified, and a red thing is deleted. Works out pretty well. Plus, minus, dots. 911, you'd think so, but it'd be the C. I love that joke. Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry. My jokes are all the same. I've actually looked into learning jokes in American Sign Language, because it turns out no one's ever heard them before. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Crow. I appreciate those lols. Yeah, all the lols. All right, so we'll see it's found a file. It said, hey, there's something new here. Okay? Those pirates invoke CMD on the same folder and then call get stat. Yep. Get status for sure. How do you make 7 even? How do you make 7 even, Sean? Curious now. Remove the S. Ah, there you go. 7 even. That's a good one. I like it. All right, so what Git does then is it makes commits. So a commit is a snapshot, a point in time of what this directory looked like at this time. So you're given a message here. It says like making test.txt file. It should be meaningful. There's no rule that says it has to be. When you get into the professional world, your organization will have some sort of convention around what belongs in commit messages and what does not belong in them. I've had people give me commit messages like "Arr!" and I've had people give me messages like ABC. So it runs the gamut. Honestly, they don't matter, but I prefer them to be meaningful. That's just me. So I'm going to say commit to main. Now, my local repository has that commit. Once you have a commit, you can 99.9999999 always get back to that commit because you have a snapshot. You have that point in time of your directory, which is amazing. Now, the problem is my local repository has it. GitHub.com has no idea about it. So what we have to do is we have to click this button that says push. There's a button here that says push. There's a button here that says push. Either of them do the exact same thing. You can also go to repository and click push. Like anything in programming, there's probably 3 ways to do the exact same thing, right? Whichever your favorite is. Or Control P, that's 4, right? Control P, repository push. Push button up here, push button over here. They all do the same thing. You click push. So Git is a distributed source control system. That means every person who has a clone of the repository has the entire history, the entire copy of everything. So what you get is you get a pushing to the central repository and you get a pulling from the central repository. For us, when there's only one person working on the project, we're just going to push local changes up to the central. When you get into a team dynamic and you have multiple people making changes, you're pushing changes and you're pulling changes back down from other people and keeping everything in sync. Git is really good at doing that, but occasionally bad stuff happens. We call that merge conflicts. It can't merge the changes. I'll help you through it if you need it. Don't worry. That's a little bit beyond what we've got time to cover. So just don't worry about it. I'll help you through it if you run into a merge conflict. But essentially we just push. As soon as we push now, we can go and check, did github.com get our code? We'll go to repository. My other favorite link here is view on GitHub. It opens up the same URL as your repository. And we can see test.txt. Now GitHub, again, is a hosting provider of Git. They act as the origin or the central repository. We synchronize everything with them. Okay, so you can view all of the files in your repository by clicking on them, and they give you a text-based view of your files. Fantastic. Okay, so you can see what's in here, and then if you're having trouble with your project, I'll say, hey, is your code in GitHub? Send me a link. You give me this URL, or you come to the test file, whatever file you're having trouble with, and you can say, hey, at line 3, and the URL changes to add this little, is that an anchor, someone told me? The pound sign here, line 3, will take me right to the line number you're having trouble with. And you just email me, find me on Discord. I wouldn't recommend texting me links because they don't open very well on my phone. Viewing code on my phone is terrible. Even though it's the S9 Big or S9 Plus, like viewing code is still, it's a little small there. So, sure. Oh, look at that, I got more notifications. Someone's at my front door. Goodness. Goodness. Sorry. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this is my repository. If I go and make a change now, right, remember Git tracks things at the line level. So anything that's a text file is really cool. So maybe we'll say, we'll change this to line 2. Where does a pirate keep their cookies? And I'll save that. I'll come back to my GitHub client and it'll say, hey, it's modified. I get the yellow here. Line 2, old line 2 is gone, red. New line 2, green, was added. So as we're changing our code, it will track things at the line level. It's really good at this. Linus Torvald is amazing. They made Git work really well with text-based files, and it turns out all of the code that we write are text-based files because we write them in text. It's fantastic. In the cookie jar. Okay, and I'll commit, and then I will push. So the other great thing about this is GitHub makes their money selling this hosting service to organizations and individuals. Turns out they give it out for free to educational institutions and people with a .edu email address. So we have it for free, which is fantastic because we don't want to pay for it. It's not even all that expensive, but you know, that's how they make their money. So once the code is out in github.com, it's really, really, really hard to lose it. So God forbid something happens to your computer and it stops working, your code will still be in GitHub. So it kind of takes away your excuse of, oh, my computer crashed. Because what you can do is every time you stop and take a break to go look at Instagram or TikTok or whatever you cool kids are doing now on your phones, commit and push. Right? So every half hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever your attention span happens to be now, commit and push, commit and push. Commits are free. Make them early and often. Don't wait until you have something done to hit the commit button. Right? As often as you look away from your code, commit and push. Okay? That's my recommendation to you. It will help keep things in sync. It will help you not lose any work, because then the most that you'll lose is maybe that 5, 10, 15 minutes that it's been since you went off to look at something else on your phone that was more interesting than what you were doing. No, you can use any email address you want. Steronek. If you add your student email address, you can get verified as a student and you can get their additional free services. But because I created them through our educational organization, you'll be fine. So other people can see code in public repositories. So remember when I made mine, I said it's a public repository. So anyone can take this link here and go to it. This will show you all of the source code for everything. When you have a private repository, no one else can see it unless they're logged in and authorized. So there's a settings section here where you can add collaborators. You go to manage access, plug in your password here. It's really nice that it double checks for you. And you can say, hey, I want to invite other people to have access. So when you have your repository, you'll be added as a collaborator, and then actually anyone at the OCC organization, which is me and some other faculty members, will have access to the code. No one else is using it yet. I'm essentially piloting this next thing I'm going to show you for the summer semester and seeing how well it works for me. So that's my goal. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with our code. So we'll create the GitHub. Actually, I'll give you a link that will create a GitHub repository for you. I have to set that up in a second. And then it will give you a link to the GitHub repository. You will click the open in GitHub desktop. You will clone it. And then what you do is you put your projects in that directory. Okay. The other thing I haven't shown you yet is the XAMPP download. Go to XAMPP. I believe version 8 is the latest and greatest version. If you're following on the textbook and look at the appendix, it says use an older version. You're welcome to do that if you want. If you want to just load the book examples, my recommendation for you, though, is to use the latest version and then go through the book examples and actually enter them yourselves, or you can copy-paste them in if you need to. You're going to learn more by doing it, I think, than by just opening up and being able to explore. That's sort of the philosophy there. And again, whether or not you even want to play with the book examples or just look at how they did it, that's up to you. So the latest version here, version 8, is what I recommend you download here. Okay? And again, it works for Linux and Mac as well. So shouldn't have any trouble there. Okay? You folks with me so far? How are we doing? I know I'm talking fast. I've had a lot of coffee. Let me grab another bite of pizza here and chew for a minute on mute. All right, awesome. Yeah, so yeah, I'll give you a link that will create one for you. I'll show you that in just a minute here, and then you should be in good shape. Thanks, Mark. Glad you're doing well. I have a tendency to talk fast. I think I mentioned, if you've had me before, one of those students, well, I first got the idea to start streaming. You know, you can leave those feedback surveys at the end of class, and they get compiled into annual reviews and all that good stuff. had said, "I'm like a squirrel with an adrenaline shot." I'm both proud and embarrassed of that comment, but definitely a mix of both. Definitely a mix of both. So please shout at me if you would like me to slow down, because if you want me to slow down, I'm sure someone else wants me to slow down. It's all good, okay? You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Please just let me know if the pace is too fast, because my instinct is to just go. Right? I've had 2 pots of coffee today, so I'm doing surprisingly well for being up so early. I was up till like 5 in the morning, and I had to get up at 7. It was awful. It was awful. Like the squirrel over the hedge. So I'm bummed. I found out my dungeon master injured himself and won't be able to play tonight. So I have no D&D session tonight, which is unfortunate. Thursday is our regular game session night. Sort of works out for us. That works typically a good night for everybody. So it's kind of a bummer. We've just gotten to a pretty good part too. It's okay. I know, rip in the chat. My kids are more bummed than I am, though. They seem to enjoy playing. So we only do like 2 hours a night, so it's kind of hard to fit a whole one-shot in there, because we try and run it later at night, but then my kids still need to go to bed at some point, so we try not to go too late. So I would love to do a one-shot at some point, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a D&D student club or something. There actually is one over at U of M Dearborn. I haven't been able to join any of their games, which is unfortunate. Just life is a little bit busy to try and join a second campaign. And they do like Friday nights, 7 p.m. till 1 in the morning or whenever they decide that they're done for the session. So looks like a lot of fun, though. They seem to have a good time with it. All right, so with XAMPP, again, you download that and install it, and it gives you the XAMPP control panel, which will run Apache, MySQL, FileZilla we ignore, Mercury we ignore, Tomcat we'll use for Java. So we don't use it for the first half of the semester. Star Wars 5th Edition, I heard some folks talking about it. I've never played it myself. I tend to be more of the fantasy style fan. So that's what I like. But I've heard good things about Star Wars. Someone's even running a Pokemon-themed 5th Edition variety, which sounded actually kind of interesting. I'm a bit of a nerd and was into Pokemon Go for a while back when I would actually leave the house. Turns out playing Pokemon Go from home is really boring. There's not a whole lot to do, so... you need something? Yeah, we're not playing tonight. Sorry. Alright. So what we're going to do is... Red boxes is okay. That just means they're stopped and there's no service installed. We don't need to install any services. That's okay. So we can just stop and start them from here. If you install it as a service, that means you can just tell it to start in Windows without the XAMPP control panel, or just let it auto-run all by itself. You probably don't need to do that because you just want to turn it on and off as needed. It's usually a one-click thing. Now, depending on what else you have installed, if you've ever done any Windows .NET development using IIS, the Internet Information Services app, we're going to have to reconfigure Apache. And actually, I have that installed, so I always reconfigure Apache. So by default, it wants to use port 80. So port 80 is the standard HTTP connection for web connections. So we need to go and change that. So we're going to go to the Apache section, and go to config, and go to the Apache httpd.conf. That's our config section here. And it just opens up in a text editor here, which is fine. And we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we'll see a bunch of stuff in here. And eventually you see a listen section. So on listen, it probably says listen 80. And what I do is I change it to like 50,080. So hopefully you've had a networking class, or if you haven't yet, that's okay. Windows has all sorts of different ports that we use, or all devices have different ports that they use. There's a dynamic port range that we typically want to move into if we're not using port 80. So I'm going to put it in as 50,080, and this will be important when I start a NetBeans project to tell NetBeans where to go find my Apache server, or my Apache server. So we'll change it to 50,080. Nothing else in here probably needs to change. We should be all set to go. All sorts of cool config you can do with Apache. There's an actual web systems administration class, I want to say. That is not this one. CIS. So 443, that's the SSL connection. We'll talk about that when we get to talk about secure connections. We don't do that for a while. Administration. Oh, yeah, Web Systems Administration. So actually doing the operation administration of Apache, IIS, Tomcat, WebSphere, sort of thing. You can get into that in 2333. So we mostly handwave. Our focus here is development, not the actual administration of it. Yep, so you want to make sure you get the HTTPD config, not the HTTPD SSL. So SSL is our secure socket layer. That's our secure communication, which is actually TLS, but we've never renamed it, and that's okay.
Where did you put the brownies yesterday?
Oh, they're all gone.
You ate the whole thing.
I did.
That day?
You had one.
Yeah, but didn't you get sick?
No, I didn't get sick. All right, I'm in the middle of class, okay? I love you. I've been caught. I bought a pack of those fudge brownies, the Little Debbie ones. There's a little like fudge brownie, but little like individual packets. My daughter had one, and I ate the rest of the box. Now she's upset with me. Not funny. No. Especially as I'm a type 1 diabetic here, so that sugar will kill me if I don't take my insulin. They are so good. They're good. Like, you just can't stop. And I was up till 5 in the morning doing nonsense things. So trying to get everything up and running and working, and just life. So you know what's really good though is those fudge brownies with some peanut butter mixed in with ice cream. It's like your own Cold Stone Creamery. Just scoop in some ice cream, throw one of those fudge brownies, throw in a flock of peanut butter, mix it all up, go to town. It's fantastic. And then you don't have to wait in line. Are Cold Stone Creamery still a thing? Do those still exist? Where they would like go and do all the mix-ins like a Subway style, but for ice cream? I don't know. If you have a peanut allergy, don't try it. Just in case I need to tell people that. I don't want to kill anyone by mistake. Okay, Cold Stone still exist? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure they survived the pandemic. You know, some places didn't, actually, which is a little crappy. There's a coffee shop down the street that had the misfortune of opening in December 2019. Started by an acquaintance of mine from school. They took the location, started their coffee shop, and they have been struggling. But because I don't go out much anymore, I don't have my Starbucks Gold card. So all of my coffee money I put over to Trails Edge Cafe now, my little favorite local coffee shop. And someday, if they survive it, they're up through their bills paid through March. So they're only a month and a half behind on bills now. One of the news stations did a big fundraiser for them, and they had people bring in cans and bottles and all this good stuff. They have a GoFundMe. But yeah, it was a fantastic place. It was nice and quiet to go hang out, really cute. I miss being able to just go and sit in the quiet there. They always did a really nice job decorating. Yep, yeah, local food companies. If you've got it, it's great to support your local companies here. I still feel a little bad I don't go to Starbucks anymore, but it's not on the way. Like, it was on my drive before, and now I don't drive. So this place is just literally around the corner. It's a mile from my house. I've actually walked there with my kids before. It's pretty nice. We get some fun stuff. Anyway, so we'll change that config there, and that should be it for starting that. We'll get to this PHP config later. We need to go change something there to get debugging to work, but we don't get to debugging until way later because it's complicated. And reasons, I guess, because that's the way the textbook does it. So we don't do debugging until week 5 in PHP. But we kind of take our time, go through this here, like Introduction to Web Development PHP, our basic PHP application. It's all good, okay? So we'll start that there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe that place I was advertising, Help Desk Jobs, is legit. I just got it from my chair. So, sure, why not? All right, so we got XAMPP installed. Now that we did that config, it should work for me. You might not need to do it if you haven't used IIS before, but if you want to follow along, do it the exact same way as me, so we're all using the same port number, that might work better. So I'm going to click on Start, and it should start and turn green. If it doesn't, let me know. I can help you troubleshoot. We'll work on it, check out the logs, see what's going on here. But you'll see it lists 2 ports. 443, that's for the Secure Socket Layer, or TLS, Transport Layer Security Communication, HTTPS. Oh, KB the Wicked. I love Dogecoin. I was big into it. Actually made a decent amount of money off of it back before it got quite as much attention. It was after Elon Musk started talking about it, I got into it and was able to ride that wave to make some money. but I lost some buying in, hoping it would pump a little more after his SNL skits, and it dropped, but that's okay. That's awesome, Sticks. That is so cool. Yeah, at one point I had 300,000 of them when they were trading at like half a penny each, and then I sold them all when it went to a penny each, and I was like, yes, I doubled my money. Little did I know it would make it to 70 cents a coin, so I feel bad about that, but that's okay. I'm still doing okay. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose. Like, that's with anything here. And crypto is just a bet. It's a speculation here. So your mileage might vary, and you're very likely to lose your money. Especially because Robinhood sucks, and they will just randomly lock you out. So, nice. You had GameStop? Yeah, I got in on it, and then got back out, and got in and lost some money and got back out and things. So, yep. Yeah, the guy who had Bitcoin and bought pizza, it was like the first commercial transaction for Bitcoin, right? And now you're kicking yourself. But, you know, that's okay. That happens. Okay, Webull, I've heard things. Okay, did they do Dogecoin as well? I was trying to find somebody who did Dogecoin. I looked at Binance or something, but they didn't verify me yet. So, that's okay. Oh, we'll have some fun. We had a lot of fun last semester building a stock trading application as our example, getting in all the stonk excitement. And we would take a look at the price of GameStop weekly and see how that was doing. You know, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, all the other meme stocks that people were pumping for fun. And it seemed to be nice and topical. So, yep. Yeah, Robinhood locked people out. That was crappy. Anything that doesn't advertise on Facebook is good, Kleenex. Lols. Alright, so hopefully it starts. If it doesn't, again, we'll get together, we'll figure it out, we can do some screen sharing, get that up and running here. But now that it's up and running, I'm going to fire up NetBeans. And we'll let NetBeans load for a little while here. Awesome, glad yours is running, Sticks. Was today tiring? Oh, today's been a super long day, but I made the mistake of talking with the high schoolers, so that's why I'm tired. I could use a nap. And again, I was up till like 5 in the morning. That was a mistake too, but that's my own personal problem. Yeah, that's why I am through all of my coffee, and this one's empty now, and I'm sad. Kleenex. I'm sad. Alright, so we're going to go to File, New Project. And I want a PHP project. So if these aren't lit up yet, that's okay. They might show like kind of darkened and grayed. When you click next, it'll say, hey, do you want to install some add-ons, some plugins? And you say yes. Yes, please. Okay. Now this is the tricky part. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to store our source code in our GitHub repository. So I don't want to put it in XAMPP htdocs PHP project 4. This is where my web server is. Anything that goes into htdocs is the PHP home, essentially. Okay, so if you put it in here, your PHP server will host that code and will be accessible. We want to back up a step, though. We want to keep it in source control, and then we will deploy to our server. So I'm going to click on Browse, and I'm going to go find my GitHub directory here. So let me go find my GitHub folder. I want 2454, summer 2021 here. Okay? This is my GitHub directory. Okay, so this is where I want to put the project. Okay, and it's warning me it's not empty. That's okay. We should be fine. All right, PHP latest version 8 should be fine as well. Default encoding is good, and we want all the stuff there. Don't put the NetBeans metadata in a different directory. It all goes in sources. Then what we do is we tell it, hey, this is where it's going to go. So where do we want to put all this stuff? I want it to go in a local website that's running on my local web server here. And where's it going to go? So what's the URL going to be? So for me, it's the name of the repository. So it's localhost, and I need to add in here now because I changed the port number, and NetBeans doesn't know about it. So I'm going to find localhost, and I can't zoom this in, I'm sorry. I could maybe use the magnifier, but that might not work very well. So it's http://localhost. Before the slash, I'm going to put in a colon and put in 50,080, because that's the port number I changed it to. If you left your port number at 80, you don't need to change a thing. If you did change it like I did, change it here. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to check this copy files from sources to another location, and we're going to copy the name of our repository here to this c:\examp htdocs and put it in here. Again, the names don't necessarily have to match, but if you start using different names, you're likely to get confused. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a repository for every project. So I'm going to give you a link that will make a Project 0 repository, a link that will make a Project 1 repository, a link that will make a Project 2 repository, and life should be good. And those will be our links. So it'll be Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, on and on and on and on. Okay? So I'm going to say copy my files from sources to another location, examp htdocs. Again, htdocs is my PHP folder. This is everything in here is where PHP will look to serve files. Okay? And I'll say next. I don't need any of these frameworks. We'll talk about frameworks near the end of the class. And I don't need any composers, so I click finish. I get a new project here. We'll do on the left, I open up my source files. I see, where's my PHP file? Oh, goodness. All right, it didn't give me a default PHP. That's okay, so I'm going to add a new PHP file. Call this index.php. Okay, and in index.php, there we go, we get a PHP file here. We can put all sorts of stuff in here so we can add regular HTML code. So PHP lets you mix and match HTML with PHP code. So you might just say in here like h1 awesome, or I don't know, hello world. Why not? /h1. So hopefully you've had the web design class before, which is also not a prereq, which I don't really understand again, that we don't have the HTML5 development or the JavaScript programming as prereqs for this course. Most people take them in the right order, but if you did not, then you might be a little confused by some of this. Don't worry too much. All of the HTML we can copy paste from the book and from me. You didn't have that one either, D2K? Okay, you know, we'll make do. That's all right. That is okay. Yeah, that's all right if you're rusty. We're essentially going to copy all the examples from the book. No big deal. Okay? And I'm going to add a question greater than sign. This is my ending tag. It's unnecessary, but I like it here. Okay? And then in PHP, what you get is some basic code here. We'll say echo will print something out to the console. So it's inside of a less than question mark PHP and a question mark greater than, which ends the PHP tag. So with our HTML, right, you have greater than less thans with the tags here, like h1 for header 1, PHP, greater than question PHP, question less than. That's our syntax here. We can echo hello world in a single quote or a double quote. There are differences in PHP. We'll get to that later. Don't worry. We'll echo hello world one more time. And then I don't like my default browser. So instead of clicking the little globe here, I'm going to click the drop down and say Firefox, because I much prefer Firefox or Edge. But I try and do all this in Firefox for reasons. And then I'm going to say run. And what I should get is my web browser opening to localhost 50,080 / the name of my repository / index.php. So index.html, index.php, those are our standard starter pages here. So if I take that out, it's still going to load index.php for me, even without showing the name. And again, we'll get to that next chapter as well. We're just trying to get our tools up and running. I'll see the hello world header, and I also see, if I inspect my page source here, view page source, right-click, view page source, we'll see hello world just as plain text, because the PHP echo here sticks this out in the web response. Again, we'll talk all about that next semester. Don't worry too much about it. Not next semester, next week. My goodness, next week we'll talk about that some more, and we'll go from there. So what I would like you to do here is we're going to build a little starter application. We need to know nothing about PHP. All we need to know is how to get the tools installed, and this is going to make sure it works for us. Now, I do have a catch for you. I'm going to come over to the course here, and I'm going to add a discussion. What I would like you to do, and this is one of those pro tips I picked up in the class I took about how to run a good online class, is I would like you to identify a learning partner for the course. So a learning partner is going to be your buddy for the class that you folks talk with and chat with and keep in touch and encourage each other. Hey, make sure you keep up, do the, you know, how is this, that sort of thing. So this is learning partners. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide them up between people who prefer to be synchronous, synchronous preferred, or asynchronous preferred. So if you prefer the synchronous class sessions, and then maybe you want to get together after class or another time, whatever happens to be, if you're not fried by the time it's 8 o'clock rolls around, partner up with somebody who wants to be synchronous. Or if you prefer to watch the class asynchronously, pick it up at your own pace another time, find somebody who has a similar schedule to you. So post here, so this is async preferred. No, preferred. Okay. So post in here in D2L. Now, D2L is locked to just our enrolled students. So this way you don't have to find Discord, and hopefully you don't end up with a rando person. Not that the randos will cause us any trouble, but yeah, for sure, Sean. I am trusting you adults to self-organize because I don't want to do it. Right? It's obnoxious if I have to pick pairs. So go ahead and self-organize. Post in here. You want to find a partner, or if you already know somebody, great. Go for it. King, yeah, I appreciate it. I know, you're great. You know, our randos have been awesome, actually. I've been super impressed with the Twitch community. And I think that's super cool that we can kind of have this open community as well. And no one's been a jerk to me yet. Which is really cool, because I give out my cell phone number. So, you know. I know, I've gotten lucky, King. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we stay lucky, and maybe people will just realize I'm a nice guy and not abuse it. Because trolls are the worst. I hate trolls. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to find your learning partner, and then you're going to get together to work on this first project. So post in there your name, what hours you prefer, when you're available. I don't know, about you. Hey, I'm really smart. You should be my partner because I'm cool. I don't know, I like video games. Do you like video games? I don't know. Whatever you want to put there to try and get... Oh, hey, Jack. You going to bed? You're not going to bed? What are you doing, buddy? You want to say hi?
No, hi.
You don't want to say hi to everybody? Look. Wait right there. Right there. Say hi, everybody.
No.
No. Oh, my goodness, buddy. I love you. Here, go see Mama, okay? Go see Mama. I'll be done in a little bit. We're almost done. I'm giving them their project, okay? They got to do their homework. Oh, yeah, I got to grab my keys. Thanks. That's my little guy. That's Jack. Mark says, hey, buddy. Yes. He gets grumpy. He did not sleep much. That's why I was up till 5 in the morning. So he's a little cranky today. All right, so what we're going to do, let me go to my classroom.github.com. I got to set this up real fast for you guys. I apologize. Let me go make a starter repository too. Sorry, give me a second. You know, why don't we take 10 minutes? I have to get everything set up here, and we can use a quick break. And then I'll come back and get this moving for you, okay? That sound like a good plan? Why don't we take 10, put some more music on, I'll finish this up, and then I'll have all the links for you, and I'll talk you through it. I'll do the example, and then all you're going to have to do is follow along after. Okay? So we'll take 10, I'll put the music back on, we'll go from there. Let me throw this other screen back up here. Remember to turn off the mic. All right, 10 minutes. We'll come back at 8:13 or so, and we'll finish up for the night.
do or die. Feel it in my veins tonight. Emotional suicide. You know it's an eye for eye. I didn't wanna walk the plank. But the Mariona, it came like the thunder. I was on my way to going under. Swimming in the bay, yeah, I was covered in a tidal wave, But I'm a fighter. Try to take me down, I'm going higher. Baby, you've been playing with some fire. You've been playing with fire. One day you will see what you made of me. Found my inner peace. You are release in the dead of night. In the dead of night. Baby, when the story die, you know it's an eye for eye. Feel the energy align in the dead of night. 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 You can save your alibi. I already know you lied. Oh no, no, don't even try. Watch the flame in me ignite. You didn't wanna walk the plank. But the Mariona, it came. Baby, it was dark, it was odyssey. And that's when a spark lit inside of me. Oh, I was lost from reverie. One day you will see what you made of me, what's inside of me. One day you will see I found my inner peace. You are release in the dead of night. In the dead of night. Baby, when the story die, you know it's an eye for eye. Feel the energy align in the dead of night. 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 And one day you will see what you made of me, what's inside of me. Oh, and one day you will see I found my inner beast, and you are Jubilees.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever!
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
At Kroger, everything we sell is guaranteed fresher than fresh because our associates constantly check to make sure everything is at the peak of freshness. That means peeking at the peaches, spying on the steaks, and delving deep into the dairy department. So everything we sell is guaranteed fresh, or we'll make it right. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
To make your St. Patrick's Day better than the rest, your first whiskey's on us. A Bushmills, the best. Just take it to go and send your receipt. Consider it a gift, a St. Patrick's Day treat. This St. Patrick's Day, when you order a Bushmills to go, upload your itemized receipt for $6 off your first round. Bushmills, the original whiskey, born 1608. 2021 Proximo, Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
Fallen one too many times. Feeling like it never ends. Back again, square one. Tried to leave myself behind. Looking for a better place, not to stay alone. Gain our trust and you chose to break it. Ask for truth, but you only fake it. Thought you said what we had was sacred. It's all lies, all lies. I was broken and isolated, but inside held the fire waiting. Not a word that you say can save this, so don't try. 'Cause this time you crossed the line. Funny how the tables turned. Didn't think I'd go this far, but here we are, the end. Now you're just
Hey everybody. Alrighty. I think we're back here. Oh, got another minute, looks like, till break. That's good. Good to know. We're close. Close. Yeah, the unicorn of thing. I don't know. We get some weird Spotify ads. I'm too cheap for premium. I'm sorry. So I just I get them every now and then. I tried to download the tracks, and it just wouldn't download for me. I don't know if I screwed it up or if I need to use a different browser or something, but it was definitely causing trouble. Alright, so we'll be done with Spotify for the night. So I can close that down. My little current song here. Oh, hey Merlin. Wanna come say hi? My little baby kitty's here. You wanna come say hi to everybody? Come here. He's got the cutest little face. Say hi. Say meow. He's the quiet one. Moxie's a little louder. You'll close and reopen Spotify before you listen to the ad. Yeah, you get some funny ones. So, buddy. Yeah, we just got these kittens 3 weeks ago tomorrow, I think. I had my wife and I had gotten cats before we had kids, and we had 5 at one point, and then one of them died early. One ran off while we were doing some construction on the house, and she wanted to be an outdoor cat. She was a rescue anyway, never came back. So we had 3, and then we ended up having my grandma take one of them when she needed another cat. So then we had 2, and they loved those 2, and then the one died. And it was a cat all the kids had known their whole life. So we've been looking for some new cats, and it took a good 2 months to find some kittens. Yeah, Moxie is my white one. She looks kind of Siamese. She was definitely a little bit aggressive. She likes to gnaw on things. So Merlin's a little more chill, which is cool. But they're both sweet. They're a lot of fun. I'm definitely a cat person. My brother is like deadly allergic. Not deadly, but like immediately stuffs up, get all congested. So we never had cats as a kid. But my grandmother had cats, and I always like to play with the cats when I go visit her. So as soon as I moved out, I got my own cats with my wife and I. So yeah, I had she was my first kitten. The girl who died, Zoe, died in February, 3 months ago now. Wow. So that was rough. But now we got these other kittens, and it's working out pretty well. They're pretty cute. So, not a replacement, right? But, okay. Anyway, enough rambling. You'd get this in person, too. I ramble all the time. So, Project Zero, the edit button. I was going to remember the edit button. There should be a link here that you can click, which will take you to a GitHub Classroom assignment. Hey, Mox, you going to come say hi, too? You going to cause some trouble? All right, you guys can't step on my keyboard, though. So this will automatically create the repository for you. This is saving me tons of work. So I'm super excited for this GitHub Classrooms thing. The auto grade is not going to work for our class, but that's okay. I'm trying to get that working for 1500 and 2151 and 2353. But that's my own problem. I know, get off my keyboard. Don't step on that. Don't step on that. Say hi. Look, isn't she the cutest? Meow. She meows a lot. She's sweet. The mouse is next to it, yeah. Hey guys, you can't be on my keyboard. No. Okay. I've got to put you down. I'm sorry. I love you. You can come on my lap later. All right, so this GitHub Classroom link will take you and it will say, hey, do you want to accept the assignment in the Oakland Community College organization? Fantastic. So it's Project Zero dash your username, which is awesome. It should make the assignment. Oh, you know what? Should I have renamed that? Maybe I should have renamed that. Because if you were in my other class, it might cause trouble. Give me just like half a second here. Classroom. I think I have to rename it just real fast. Find it here. Edit. This is CIS 2454, summer 2021, Project Zero. Let's try that. Update. All right, let's see if that works now. Aha! Okay, so now it's a better name, so should be fine. We should be all set here then. Sticks, you already got there, and Stronek, you're already there. That's all fine. Should be fine, not a problem. So I'm going to click on accept, and it's going to say, oh, sure, let me make you a repository. Now, this one's empty. There's not actually anything in it except the gitignore file and the readme file, which is awesome. So, hey, I've got a repository, and I can click the link here. This is the repository I'd like you to use for Project Zero. So I'm going to give you one of these repositories for every class assignment. Yeah, no problem, Sticks. We're good. You already clicked it. So we're going to use this link here, then, to click on Code and Open with GitHub Desktop. We'll say Open. Sure, I'm good to go. And yeah, I want to clone the repository. I need to know where it is. Let me do that here. Sorry. All right. Aww. Just send me that picture. That's their sad face, apparently. All right. Yeah, you should just be able to refresh, and it should set up. Sticks, if you have trouble, let me know. I can get a reset for you. But now we're going to click on Launch in GitHub Desktop, and it will clone the repository. So it just makes the repository for me. So again, I have a Show and Explorer, and I have a View on GitHub. So the Show and Explorer will show me it's in my Documents GitHub folder. Here's the big folder name. I'm going to grab that. Great, fantastic. And I'm going to come back over to NetBeans, and I'm going to say File, New Project. I want to do a new PHP project, PHP application. I want to put the source as that folder. I'm going to copy paste that path in or just go browse and find it. Okay, so all of my PHP code will go here, and I'll just call this, I don't know, Project Zero. Should be fine. And we'll say, on my local website, where do I want it to go? Now, this you could rename if you wanted, or you could leave it long. Doesn't matter. Again, I'm kind of a fan of just leaving it long, because then the folder name will match, and life will be good. So we're going to copy to htdocs with the same path there. And again, we're going to change our port here to :50,800. Or no, 50,080. Okay, so it's going to copy from this folder, CIS 2454, Summer 2021, Project Zero, Eric Chernesky. The Eric Chernesky should be your GitHub username. And we paste that path in here. So cxamp, htdoc, CIS 2454, on and on and on and on. Make sure you copy files. And go next, next, and finish. Or you can just click finish. I don't know why I always click next all the time. And now we have my Project Zero here that we named. Right, in that new location, I'm going to go add a new PHP file. Call this one index.php. And what we need to do is we need to echo out some information. So if you go back to that repository and view on GitHub, it'll tell you here in the little README file that you're to write a PHP application that echoes the following information: your name, your preferred pronouns, your program and major, the reason you're taking the course, what you hope to get out of the course, and anything else you'd like me to know about you. I'm just going to copy paste this in here, essentially. And it's an echo, and then in quotes, single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't actually matter at this point here. So Eric Chernesky. And then you need a semicolon, and we also need to add in some new lines here, which is a little bit unfortunate. So that's a, I believe it's just a BR or /BR. Ought to work here. We'll find out if I can do this right or not. And I'm just going to copy paste this a couple times. Pronouns, major. Oh, I forgot my other semicolon, sorry. Semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. Now let's try copy. Reason for taking the class, what I hope to get out of the class, and anything else you'd like me to know. Okay. So, it's Eric. I am he, him. Programmer major is Doctor of Engineering. Why am I taking the class? I'm the teacher, dummy. That's why I'm here. And what I hope to get out of it for you fine folks to learn some PHP and JSP. Maybe love web dev work. Okay, and anything else? I love cats. All right, that should be it. And I'll save, and I'm going to just change my browser again because I don't like the default one. I'm going to hit run, and I should get a URL here with localhost 50,080, the project name /index.php. If you've got that, you're good to go. If it doesn't work, something's wrong with your tools. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pair off with a learning partner and work with them for each of you to complete this individually. But this way you have a partner to work with. You'll meet somebody in this cold, desolate world we call remote learning, pandemic learning, I don't know, whatever. We're almost through the lockdown. I mean, we're through the lockdown, slowly opening up, but hopefully you get a chance to meet somebody and work with them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to submit the URL to the feedback pull request along with a self-assessment scoring using the attached rubric. So you come over to rubric here, you'll see there's 3 points here for committing all the PHP files and NetBeans project files via Git, not the file upload option. So if you come back over to the website here, some of my students have noticed there's a button for add files and you can upload files directly. Please don't touch this button. It is not what we're supposed to do. That's not how GitHub is supposed to work. You want to see the GitHub client and it should say, hey, I found a bunch of files. Let's save. I find a bunch of files. Where's all my files here? Where did all my files go? I had files. Didn't I have files? All right, I'm going crazy now. Yeah, it's in there. Why doesn't it see it? Maybe I just got to refresh. That's not the refresh button. That ignore. Oh, I'm sorry. It was right there the entire time. I'm just dumb. Index.php. That's my file here, along with project properties, project XML. Leave those alone. They're all fine. Okay? So if you see your PHP file here, you should be in good shape. We're going to give it a commit message. It says project 0, 0 done. Anything you want to put here is fine, right? You commit. Give it a second. That takes the snapshot, the point in time of that directory, what it looks like, and we hit push. Then we're going to go back to repository, view on GitHub again. And now what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we can see our index.php file. If you can see your index.php file and open it up, and you see your contents here, you're in good shape. Then what you're going to give me here is this pull request link. So I don't want this link. I don't want the main link. I would like this pull request link, please. The pull request link says feedback. You click on feedback here. This is the URL you're going to turn in. So github.com/oakland-community-college/CIS2454 summer 2021 project 0-your name /pull/1. Yeah, just working together, getting to know somebody, helping each other out. You folks are going to be a good resource for answering each other's questions for some of these basic things that might have went wrong, like I didn't install the right thing. If you have other problems, I'm happy to jump on a screen sharing call and help you out with it. But this is just a good excuse to get to know somebody in the class. Okay, so you can give me this URL. You're going to come to D2L and say submit. It should ask for some text. You'll give me that URL along with, hey, did you do this one? Did you get a point for this? Did you get a point for this? Did you get a point for this? The link to the feedback pull request, the PHP echoes all the requested information, and all of your files are there. 3 points for this project. You can do it through Discord, Mark, if you want. The discussion board is limited to the enrolled students, so if you want to give some more information, like, hey, here's my number, or anything like that, that might be a better place for it. I'm assuming everyone in the Discord's probably fine, but I haven't got to the point of trying to lock it down. I could add some private channels, and you could all like send me some information that I'll put in the D2L, but that seems like a lot of work that I'd like to avoid. Again, I'm like most developers, I'm lazy, don't want to do more work if I don't have to. So, yeah, I mean, if you find somebody and pair up with them, that's perfectly fine in the Discord, but like, if you wanted to be like, hey, I'm around Monday nights from 9 to midnight or something, that's probably fine information, but don't give out your cell phone number publicly. Don't be stupid like me. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. That is Project 0. That is going to help make sure our tools are set up and we're in good shape to go for the rest of the semester. Again, it's not all the tools. Once we get to MySQL, we'll talk about the next tool in XAMPP, which is the MySQL. This one should just work. It's pretty fantastic. And then we'll get to Tomcat with Java. That needs a little bit of tweaking here once we get to week 7, and I'll walk you through all that as we go. Okay? That's it. It's been a long night. I appreciate you folks. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for all the support for the Student Scholarship Fund at the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Engineering and Computer Science. You folks are fantastic. I'll be happy to prove any payouts I've got anytime you want. Got nothing there. Looking forward to this semester. Again, it is going to move fast. We have no break. Really unfortunate. Yes, and so I'll export this out, and I'll put a link here in D2L in the content section for lecture archive. You can also go to my Twitch page there anytime and go to the videos link, and you can find the videos there. I put them all in playlists, so you can find them on Twitch as well. It takes YouTube about half an hour or so to do all the encoding for the videos. 2.5 hours is a little bit long for a video for YouTube, so it takes them a little bit of time. Yep, it'll be up on YouTube and Twitch. Talk with your learning partner, pair up with them. I'm happy to talk you through it again as well. Let me know when good times are to host some office hours. You can drop in for that, chat with me anytime. And the last thing, before we're done, there is a syllabus quiz to please take before next week. So syllabus quiz and Project Zero due. The syllabus quiz is making sure you actually read this thing. And you can answer a couple easy questions. Free points here, right? Question number 1. Ways that you can contact Eric. Over Discord, email, text message, phone call, or all of the above. The tools that you need, you can either install them yourself or use the OCC virtual desktop, or both. You can watch the lectures synchronously on Twitch, asynchronously on YouTube, or either, whichever way you prefer. Work submitted after the due date receive no credit without prior written approval. True or false? The Academic Sports Center offers free tutoring where you can reserve individual appointments with a tutor who will write your assignments for you. True or false? During my office hours, please let me know what time is best for you here. You can reserve a meeting, expect a quick response, chat about general tech, anything interesting, or all of the above. Number 7, the college course. This was another tip I picked up on that online learning class to remind you fine folks that a typical college course takes 2 hours of work outside the classroom for every hour inside the classroom. So as a 4-credit class, you should expect to have 8 hours worth of work every week between reading the textbook, working on homework, taking quizzes, any other nonsense you have to do for the class. So 2 to 3 hours worth of lecture, a little bit of practice to make the first 4 hours of class time. We're calling some of that practice class time because that's what we would have done in person. We just don't have in person. So take some of the time tonight or another time if you're fried after listening to me for 2 hours and you don't want to do PHP again ever. Wake up the next day and feel better about life and do some more practice. So tell me what time you're going to set aside to work on the course. What 8 hours are you setting aside for reading the book, doing your homework, doing the projects, and what 4 hours are you planning to do the synchronous lecture or asynchronous lecture plus a little bit of practice? Okay? And then number 8. I always ask this question now to say that you have read and understood the course policy on plagiarism and cheating. This is my CYA for when I fail you for cheating and I have to report you to the dean. I tell the dean, yes, look, they agreed, they understand the policy. Right here, I can prove it. And here's the policy in my syllabus. In all the years I've been teaching, I've failed, I started counting, it's ridiculous, more than 20 students. And I have not yet once had the dean tell me I was wrong and say, oh no, they shouldn't fail the class. Okay, I've been doing this since 2012. As soon as I catch you cheating, you fail the class immediately, you report to the dean everywhere I teach. That is the rule. And I have never had it overturned where the dean says, oh no, Eric, you're wrong. Okay, so please, just don't be stupid. Okay, just do the work. Right? You're hopefully here trying to learn something. So please put in the effort, do the work, ask me questions. Okay, ask me questions. I am here to answer questions. Anybody can just grab the book and learn it. Right? If you're stuck on something, let me know. My typical rule of thumb is try and work on it for a good half hour to an hour before you just get super frustrated and bang your head against the wall and get mad at PHP or Java, JSP stuff and hate me and hate the project and hate the class. Reach out for help. It usually takes me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get people unstuck. To use your real name or Discord for where, Sticks? I'm sorry. Oh, in the enter your name to acknowledge? I gotcha. Your French class's game of Go Fish. That's just numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I believe. Yeah, I mean, anything you put in here, Sticks, D12 will have your real name, which is cool. So whatever you put in here, it's going to be my proof that you answered the question. I don't care what you put in there. Okay? You can take this as many times as you need to. I had last night so many people get question 5 wrong. And I was really, like, more than half the people who took it last night for data structure. I was super confused. Okay? Right? I don't know how they got it wrong, so please do read carefully. Okay? So, yeah, be careful here. Hi, Moxie. Hi. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19. I forget. Yeah. All right, that's it for the night. It's been great. It is 8:30. Hopefully this was not too terrible. Again, we're planned to never go later than 8:30 if I can help it. I know it makes for a long night for you folks, and we need time to practice this stuff. With programming, and like anything else, you're not going to get better at it just watching and reading and listening. You need to do. So go out and do. I know this is not really much PHP, but we haven't actually opened the PHP book yet. We looked at how to install the tools. So I told you, write a bunch of echoes, put some semicolons, put some quotes around, you're good to go. It should be fine. All right, you folks have a great night. Let's go raid somebody for fun. Let's use around on Twitch. That's another part of fun of Twitch here. We can just see somebody, we can go drop a raid bomb out in their channel and say hi, give them some love. See who's around tonight. Let's see. Touring news, woodcrafting is fun. Trey. RDMX Rob's really nice. Do I have more online? Paleontologing is really cool. He's a great guy. Is he done, though? You can go check out the paleontologing stream. Interview with a fossil scientist. Let's go check that out. Here we go. So, raid. So the chapter is just the appendix for tonight. That's in the syllabus there, D2. It's just on installing all the tools. So you could just be able to follow along from the stream. You should be in good shape here. All right, so let me just mute that. All right, we're going to try and raid out to paleontologizing. We'll see how well that works. Maybe if I can get this thing to load. Just thinking hard about it. And we'll have a lot of fun. Again, the raids are optional, just part of the fun of Twitch here. No big deal. Let's see, it's thinking about the raid. Maybe it'll load. Oh, another ad, yay. Lucky us. We got Twitch Inception. Come on, is that raid gonna work? Might not work. Shoot. We'll try it from here, just for fun. Oh, it's already open. Shoot. I look like I don't know what I'm doing. That's probably true. It's okay. Oh, there, it's loading. Loading up, maybe. We get it to go? Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck. I'm so sad. Alright, might not work tonight. That's okay. That was a big fail. It's just super slow. Anything? Like it loaded, but it didn't actually fully load. That's unfortunate. Yeah, my button's not working. Alright, I'll just end it. You folks take care. It's been a lot of fun. We'll just do a little shout out. Head over that way for fun. Hey, it did raid. Alright. Awesome. Take care, folks.